But
Something like
Something like
huh?
that, though. Something like that.
that. Something like
And
that.
I'm not
Somehow.
exactly sure what
Why
you're
is
gonna
these
say the
guys
total is
why are
though.
these guys
Joe, why
interrupting?
is there five? Thomas, who is this?
Bro, why are people interrupting, bro? What the hell? But you carry on.
Yo, why is there five? Who Thomas? Who are these people, man?
Yo, bro,
Bro, are
shut
you
the
on
hell up,
Houston?
man.
Houston, seven meets these
He
guys.
got muted. He got muted. Just let's go. Let's move on.
But yeah, you were saying before you was really interrupted.
Um, I was just one last note. I'm not exact. I presume that the asordal which you're going to say in this case is just going to be the divine essence, correct?
We can even say pure existence is going to be the sort of. We can say
Well, yeah.
like
Well, yeah.
F
Obviously,
is the same pure
divine essence.
existence,
Yeah, go
but
ahead.
not the same, like relative res or even relation. That's the sort of which can be invoked to show that the distinguishing feature wouldn't be pure existence, but the relata.
Yeah. So in this case, you would say that the sordal, obviously in this relative identity theory, would just be pure existence, i.e., the divine essence, because well, they're the same thing, anyways. In God, there is no divine essence in reality by virtue of God being pure ase. So you would just agree that it is pure existence, correct?
Pure existence can be a sort of which is invoked. For us to say that like the Father and the Son is the same under, right? And
Exactly.
then the relata is just going to be the sort of, but which you understand the process to be differentiated.
Yeah. So according to ADS, would you at least say, um,
So wait, hold on. Before we go, right? So do you believe
yeah,
that there's a lot of people when they tend to give this like type of what's a good argument, right? Do you
sir, would you
believe that
say?
it's just like a
Can you
yeah?
say that
When
again?
people, I'm saying when people tend to give, I'm assuming this is your argument, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this argument to say that this is a formal problem, meaning that this problem, right, violates like a logical axiom directly. So are you saying this is like a formal problem or an
Well, no.
implicit?
Whether it's a are you saying? Are you basically saying like, is this some sort of contradiction or something?
Yeah, I'm saying is the contradiction direct insofar as it's violating like a logical axiom, or do you believe it's like an implicit problem? Insofar as when we look at these contexts, within a set, there's going to be some form of inconsistency.
Inconsistency in what sort of manner? Because if you were going to use contradiction, um, I mean, obviously, contradiction and inconsistency, you can say that inconsistency here refers to a logical inconsistency, which you could
Yeah,
formalize as a
yeah,
contradiction. So I'm not really sure what you mean
yeah.
by
Yeah,
anyways.
so like, so both inconsistencies are contradictions. But
Yeah.
when we talk
Or
about like a
are you saying
formal
one may be like
contradiction,
performative contradiction?
but repeat it again.
Are you saying like maybe like a performative contradiction or something? Like not
No, no,
necessarily a
I'm
conjunction.
saying, I'm saying when,
Like,
like, okay, for example, if you formalize like an argument, right, we say there's going to be a contradiction, right, because it violates some sort of axiom within a particular system.
yeah, obviously that's a logical
But then,
contradiction. P not P.
yeah, that's a logical contradiction, right? Because when we
Okay.
formalize like these things, we're saying that the conclusion, like, is going to elicit some contradiction because of the
Yeah.
statement where it
Dark
was
side of P
consistent
not P.
within the
Right.
system.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right. But then, are you saying that when it comes to this problem, is it going to be implicit problem insofar as when we, analyze the content or these propositions within a set, you're saying within the set there's going to be a form of inconsistency.
Yeah. Obviously, because
Yeah.
well, pure assay opposing pure assay is obviously not some. It's something which obviously you could say, whether it's a conjunction of P and not P or not. I don't know if you'd agree with that, but you would agree that it's something which is cannot hold, right? So at most, it would be a metaphysical impossibility. It's just inconsistency. It's an inconsistency in a sense. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, the reason why it would be inconsistent is because the argument assumes that existence is going to be the distinguishing factor between like entities, right?
Well,
Whereas I take an Aristotelian framework which states that the mode of being or the formality slash essence of the thing is going to be the principal difference between X and Y. So if we see like the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit are different because of the relations,
mhm.
this doesn't like elicit that existence is going to be the principal for it.
Yeah, exactly. So essentially, the argument itself doesn't necessarily say that existence is a thing which is distinguishing. At least in the earlier premises of the argument. The argument actually already assumes and agrees that the persons are distinguished by virtue of these relational properties or these constitutive properties, which, for example, paternity and filiation. But the absurdity comes in the conclusion, which is what the conclusion posits, is that they end up concluding pure ase opposing pure ase due to the fact that they're identified as pure ase in reality, right? So once we agree that these relations, which you would agree to by virtue of ADS, are identical to the essence or existence in reality, and then they're pure SA in reality, then when you make an independent distinction, then that would essentially be the conclusion due to the fact that that's what it's identified in reality, right?
Yeah. Let me be more specific, right? So when I'm talking about like existences are going to be the principal difference between entities, I'm talking about in general. So it isn't something which is only um being indicated or indexed of the Trinity per se, but also compasses like other things which have being. For example, when you read Peter Gage states that when it comes to like Aristotle and his understanding of being and the way in which things are diverse, right? He states that things are
Wait, one second,
diverse
by the
not
way, you hold to
because
Geach's theory, right, of relative identity?
I'm not talking about Peter's. I don't hold to Peter Geach's theory of relative identity. I'm not talking about Peter Geach concerning relative identity. I'm talking about Peter Geach concerning Aristotle.
Yeah.
Because he commentates on Aristotle's position, right? And he gives his thoughts pertaining to it. And he states that when it comes to like things being diverse, right, you can also like read like commentaries on Porphyry. He states that the mode of being or the way in which the thing exists, i.e., its formality or essence, is going to be the way in which we differentiate different things. And Peter Geach makes a good point. He states that when we look at, for example, a unicorn, right, being distinct from a man, right, the distinction isn't because one exists and the other does not exist, right? But the distinguishing factor is going to be the essence or the formality, which is understood in respect to the two entities.
Yeah, so obviously the distinction you posit is a formal distinction between the persons.
The formal distinction between the persons, I don't know. I don't posit just a formal distinction between the persons.
Like you don't understand what I mean by like a formal distinction, which is like what Thomas would essentially posit. Obviously, they think that formal distinctions can conclude real distinctions.
Bro, oh my
No.
You wouldn't posit that, right?
Formal distinction. When it comes to, they don't believe in a formal distinction between the persons. They believe in a real distinction between the persons. Right? I think
No,
you kind of like.
I'm not using a formal distinction. What do you think I'm defining a formal distinction as? I'm not using the SCOTUS view.
A conceptual distinction. You're saying it's some form of like
No. Yeah, well, I
distinction
think
between
no, that
them.
they don't believe that it leads to a. No, they don't believe that. They believe that due to their difference in formalities, it can conclude a real distinction. So obviously, the relations themselves are formally different, and due to that, it's just going to lead to a real distinction. And obviously, due to the fact that they're also modes of subsistence, that can also conclude a real distinction. But
Yeah, but look, the point is, I'm not saying there's a formal distinction between the persons. I'm saying the nature, the essence of that thing, which is real, is going to be the grounding for the thing to be different. That's the point. So I'm not just saying like the formal distinction, because remember, formal distinction is understood differently from the Scotist, right? Because Scotists would
yeah,
say that,
exactly. Yeah. That's
yeah,
the point I was making.
but what I'm saying is like formality is going to indicate something real prior to the consideration of the mind. For example, if I
Exactly,
say
yeah.
like Joyster is a man, right? I'm saying that Joyster is really a man. Man exists or is Joystar in this case, right? And that's going to be a formality which you possess as an entity, right? So when I'm saying that, oh, you're different from this thing in reality, right, the difference is going to be grounded in your essence or nature, right? It's not going to be grounded based upon the way in which I perceive you to be different, no, because a real distinction elicits a ground within the thing itself, by which we say this thing is not this thing.
Yeah, but my whole point is that you're still accounting for some sort of multiplicity by virtue of this formal distinction. So this formal distinction itself is going to conclude a multiplicity, and the multiplicity is by virtue of the persons. But either ways, this isn't necessarily going to touch up on the
I'm not,
argument at all.
I'm not saying there's a formal distinction. I'm not
Yeah,
saying there's a formal distinction. Like, I
you're
don't know why you
not
keep.
invoking a formal distinction, so what was the
No.
relevance of bringing up a formal distinction?
Formality, yeah, because when we talk about formalities, right, formality is going to be something real in so far as it exists in the thing itself. Like, for
Sure, yeah.
example, I give you, like, you're a man, right? That's going to be a nature which you possess. And
Yeah,
pertaining
that's
to my
true.
position,
Real distinction,
you
yeah.
are really man because, you know, the secondary substance is referred to you and is
Exactly.
identified
And if
to
you're going to
you.
posit
And
a real distinction, that has to be present. Yeah.
yeah,
But
so I'm
I'm just
saying,
not exactly sure. Like I understand what you're saying. Like it's not I don't understand what you're saying, but I'm just not exactly sure of the connective on how this is responding to my objection that we have this property which is
because
saying is a formality. One second, which is intrinsic and constitutive to the persons, and it's identical to the existence and thus pure ase in reality. And then it would conclude something like pure ase opposes pure ase because that's the distinction which we're invoking in reality. Either ways, the distinction you posit is a real distinction, right? It's something which takes place independent of the mind. And my whole point is that if you're invoking these properties themselves to conclude this real distinction, then that's what it's going to conclude pure se opposes pure se, because these properties are identified as pure se in reality.
No, look, the reason why I was speaking about this, right, is because the distinction is going to be twofold. It can either be real or it can be conceptual,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Right. And then when we talk about a distinction being real, right, we're not saying that, oh yeah, this thing, let's say being A and being B, is distinct because they have existence. Because that doesn't even mean anything.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm not exactly.
If you
That's my
talk
whole
about,
point. Like that's
yeah, hold on,
nobody's.
let me
Yeah.
learn, let me learn. Let me learn. Yeah, but I'm not talking about, look, I'm giving an example subtracted from the Trinity itself. So I'm saying being A, being B, right? Because
No.
any
I
being
don't.
A, any,
Yeah.
what?
bro,
I,
just let
that,
him finish. Just let him finish, bro. Come on.
Yeah,
are you
yeah.
what?
So,
Yeah, you can
so
finish.
yeah,
I'm just saying, like, that's not like that's the whole point. Like it doesn't mean anything. But the thing that's going to be the conclusion of the argument. I'm providing the conclusion of the argument when I say that. And my whole point is that it doesn't mean anything. That's why it's not really
yeah,
very
but
clear view.
that's the point. You're saying
Yo,
it
Jad,
doesn't
just
mean
let him
anything
finish.
because, yeah, that's the point. You're saying it doesn't mean anything
Yeah,
because
for
there's
example,
something.
pure versus
Yeah, hold
opposing
on,
pure, that's
let
meaningless,
me
right?
learn, let me learn,
Bro,
let me
just
learn,
let
let
him
me
finish.
learn,
Let him finish, Jad. Please, let him finish.
Yeah,
let me learn, let me learn.
yeah.
Yeah, let me learn. Yeah, the reason why you're saying it doesn't mean anything is because existence, you're assuming that existence is going to
Because
be
existence
a
opposing
principle by,
existence, its own
bro,
existence is meaningless. Yeah.
Jared, what's going, you keep interrupting me, bro, what's going on?
Well, yeah, I know what you're gonna say. You're asking me about my own
You
argument.
don't
I'm
know
just
what, you
providing the
don't know what I'm going to
clarification for my
say.
own argument, obviously.
You don't know
Huh?
what I'm going to say. So, okay,
Yeah.
if you know what I'm going to say, you're a genius. What was I going to say?
Well, no. First off, the whole point of why you're asking me this is to provide more clarification on my argument, which by the way, I already clarified
No, I wasn't
before when
asking
you
for
made the blunder of saying
clarification.
that,
I
or
was never
not the
asking
blunder,
for
but
clarification.
necessarily the assumption that for some reason the argument posits a distinction of existence, which is not necessarily what it assumes at first. No, but that's what it's concluding. And again, that would be absurd because it's just saying that one existence is opposing its own existence, which obviously you don't want to say
Yeah, I
at all.
agree with that. Yeah, that is not what I was going to say. You see, so next time,
No,
if you
again,
just
I
let
didn't
me
say that's
speak,
what you were going to say, but you wanted clarification on my argument, it seems like.
I never
And I
asked you,
provided the
I never
clarification.
asked you, I never asked you to clarify.
So, what's the whole point of this part of the dialogue? Because again, I
But
clarified that that's the whole point of the argument.
the, the point, I already know the argument. I already spoke to you about the argument like last year. Like I
So,
know it
why
very,
do you
very well.
think that? So, like, I don't understand, like,
I'm telling you,
why
the
you
reason why
think
the
that.
argument isn't.
Like
Okay, you just,
again, because you
what's going
restated the
on, bro?
conclusion of the argument and said it's meaningless. Well, yeah, I agree it's
I'm
meaningless.
not
That's the
talking. I'm
conclusion
not
of the
talking.
argument.
You see, you're not listening. I wasn't even talking about the argument itself. I was giving an example, abstracting from the argument.
Well, yeah,
I was
you were.
giving.
Wait, what? Say that again. You were taking an
I
example,
was giving.
extracting from the argument.
Yeah, subtracted from the argument. So the
Yeah, but the
example
argument
I was
itself is
going to give,
positing in the conclusion.
Jared, chill out, man. What the heck? The
I'm chill.
example which I was going to give, right, is by any entity which has being, any entity, right?
Okay, that's
Not
fine. But you're trying
not
to show
one
me
entity.
why.
Yeah, but
No, hold on. You're
hold on.
trying to show me
You're not
why
listening. You're not
an
listening. You're not
existence.
listening. You're not listening. You're not. Look, we're going to see how things are different in relation to creatures and how we understand God to be different. Because if you go to God and say, oh yeah, but when it comes to God, right, it's just going to be like this, right? There's going to be a lot of baggage, right, which is being presupposed for you to understand, okay, cool, it's going to be meaningless in virtue of this and this and that. And I'm saying that, okay, cool. If we say any entity, what's called X and Y, right, is distinguished, right? And let's see if like there's some X and there's some Y. So entity X and entity Y. When we say entity X is really distinct from entity Y, existence isn't going to be what distinguishes entity X from entity Y. Why?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because entity
Again,
X and entity Y has existence. So when we say,
again,
for
you're just
example, hold on,
again.
let me learn. For example, if I say Joystar and Jad are really
Look, I
distinguished,
understand. No
right?
offense,
This
but you're just begging the
distinguishing,
question. I
Lord have
understand that's your
mercy,
view.
bro.
No, nobody's saying
Lord
that that's
have
not
mercy,
the case.
bro.
But I'm saying that that's going to be the
Bro,
conclusion of the argument. You're
let
not
me
engaging.
learn.
One second. I'm only
Bro,
interrupting because you're not
you keep
engaging with the
interrupting me,
substance of the
bro.
argument itself. You're not engaging
I'm
with the
legit
substance of the argument
engaging.
itself.
I'm engaging. Look, the point is, right,
No,
I'm trying
no,
to
because the
show.
substance of the argument itself is saying why that has to be the case. You're not necessarily engaging on why that has to be the case. You're
Bro,
saying
can you
that
stop
why it
interrupting
can't
me?
be the case. But I already agree that it can't be the case.
Why are
I
you
don't need a reason
interrupting?
why it can't be the case. And by the way, apparently you asked me before. No, I'm not sure if this is true. You can scold your friend Hermias about this. He said, "Can you ask him again? How are conclusions meaningless? It wouldn't be a conclusion because it's not truth apt." First off, I never said that the conclusion in and of itself is meaningless,
Why are you
but I'm saying
talking?
that
Why are you
pure
talking to
opposes
someone
pure
else
which is what
other than
the
me?
conclusion states is meaningless. But obviously, the
Bro,
argument itself is valid, and it would be truth apt. And according to you, G1, which you would agree to, I presume, pure ase, pros of pure ase is a proposition which you think is false. So I'm not really
wait,
sure what
wait,
this Hermes guy is saying. I
wait,
don't know if
Jared,
you're
Jared,
or not.
Jared, stop,
Yeah.
stop interrupting me and start talking to the people in comments. But you're speaking to
I'm
me.
not talking to people in comments, but I presume that this guy said that you said something
So why then why are you speaking to a guy which is not me? Because you're speaking to me. It's a 1v1, right?
because he claimed that you did say something prior about the conclusion being
Okay,
meaningless. You asked him again.
This
did I
Jad
say?
guys
Yeah,
doesn't know what he's
but did,
talking about.
look, Jared, if you want to talk to the guy, you can FaceTime the guy, right? Like you can do it in your own
Okay,
time. But look, I'm going to speak to you in this conversation. I want to speak to Joyster after. You know what I'm saying?
that's
Right,
fine.
time
Yeah.
is ticking, bro. Okay, so start interrupting
Well,
me.
how long? That's fine. I no, but look, I interrupted you prior, so I'm saying I understand what you're trying to tell me, but I'm saying
You
that
don't
it's not
understand
engaging
because
with
that
the
wasn't my
substance
point.
of the argument because the
You
substance
did,
of the argument.
oh my
Huh?
God, bro. Start interrupting me, bro. That wasn't even the point which I was gonna illustrate to you.
What? I didn't even reiterate your point.
You're saying, well, you said that you knew what I was going to say, and I'm assuming that you're trying to reiterate the point
Well,
that
yeah,
you
because you're
thought I was going
trying
to say,
to. No, I
but
didn't
that
reiterate
isn't
your.
what that
Well,
isn't
your whole
yes,
see,
that
your whole
isn't
point is that existence cannot.
Lord
For
have
example,
mercy.
entity Y. This is explicitly what you said. There's entity Y. There's entity X. You cannot distinguish entity Y from entity X in reality by virtue of their existence. Correct?
Yes. Right,
Yes.
and we
I'm
can give
saying
an
that.
example and the point hold up, chill out.
Okay, I'm
And
just
the
saying I don't have
point
an issue with that.
the
So you can
point
go ahead and.
the point yeah, well, if you don't have an issue with that, that means your argument is not gonna follow through.
Oh my gosh! Again, what do you think my
Because
argument
and
is
I
trying
can
to
tell you
prove?
I can tell you why. I can tell you why. Right? So the
Why?
reason
What?
if
You
you
said
grant to me,
why my argument falls if I agree that I have no issue with that. I have no issue.
yes, because if
Basically saying
existence
that
isn't
yes, it's absurd
if
to
existence
distinguish
isn't
between that.
oh my lord.
But
So the
that's not
He's
what
reason
my
why your
argument is
interrupting
argument
saying.
you because he knows his argument is trash.
Lord have
But
mercy, bro.
Mister Whatever Big Lips, that's not what my argument is saying, right?
Bro,
You don't
can
know
you
what your
still
argument
can
is
you,
saying.
I know what my
can
argument
you
is
get
saying. Do you know what my argument is
Jared,
saying?
They
Hold
still
on.
cut him
I
off.
want G1. What is my argument trying to prove here?
I know your argument. I've
You
spoken to
prove
you
that you're a
before.
What
You
is
zombie.
it
say
trying to prove here?
you're trying to say there's a you're trying to say there's an implicit problem. There's going to be a contradiction because if we say within reality, pertaining to my position, where the
Mhm.
three persons are pure existence and the persons are distinct from one another, then it's just going to mean that pure existence, right, is going to be distinguished from pure
Yes,
existence
by virtue
since
of
the
the
persons
properties
are pure
themselves being
existence. Yeah,
identical.
so I know your argument. So why you keep
Yeah,
like making
but
it seem I don't
I
know
just
it?
don't understand
So now let me respond.
how you
So
I just
so okay, you will know how if you
I
don't
don't get
interrupt me.
because you already mentioned this previously. It doesn't make sense to just
I'm
simply
trying to
say
show
to
you.
prove why
I'm trying to
existence cannot
I'm trying to
distinguish
show
by.
you.
We understand that.
I'm trying to show
But go
you.
ahead,
I'm trying to show you.
continue with your ramble on that.
But you've been interrupting me. So who's rambling? I'm confused.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. So you granting that you don't have an issue with the example which I was going to give to you that say some X and some Y is really distinct and existence isn't going to ground their difference, then your argument isn't going to fall flat. Because your argument is assuming that existence is going to ground the distinction between the relations when it isn't. It's going to be the formalities by which we say the paternity,
Exactly.
right, has
Oh
reference
my
to the
gosh. Yeah.
Father, affiliation has reference to the Son, and past inspiration has reference to the Holy Spirit. So being two is going to be the foundation for the difference. So if you grant
Yes.
to me, right, then your argument falls flat, buddy.
Okay. Are you done?
It does. It falls flat.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Anyways, that's my whole point. The only reason why we're saying that existence or
Yeah,
pure
your whole point is that your argument falls flat.
Okay. Can I speak, Mister Lips? Or are you not? You're gonna keep rambling.
Man, go ahead.
Okay. Ugly ass nigga, bro. Anyways, as I was saying,
Shut the fuck up.
pure say that hit a nerve, right?
No, it did not. You just
Well,
embarrassing.
why'd you shut the fuck up like that? Anyways, let me continue. The whole
Embarrassing
point.
your prophet.
The whole
Oh,
point.
you're
isn't-
disrespectful. Shut up, nigga.
Huh?
Yo, mute this this filthy blaspheming, bro.
You chill
Who's
out, chill out.
blaspheming?
Don't
Who's speaking, bro?
chill out, man.
Don't blaspheme.
Who's blaspheming?
Yo,
Chill
ban that
out.
guy. Ban that guy that just spoke.
Anyways, to continue, the whole point of the argument, again, whether I even posit that existence can distinguish from existence isn't relevant because we're saying that that is the conclusion, which is due to the fact that these properties are identical to the pre-Austrian reality, and thus they're identified as pre-Austrian reality. So again, when you're making a distinction in reality, you're going to invoke what they're identified by as in reality, and they're identified by as in reality as being pure existence. That's the whole point of the argument. Again, that's not relevant towards whether you can
He's
say
already
existence
used
is pure
relative
existence.
identity, you moron.
Huh?
Do you know what
Relative
relative
identity is going to be
identity
Who's the
is?
relative.
guy? Who's the
You're
guy
still granting
speaking?
a real
Okay,
sameness.
Yo,
You're
wait,
still
G1.
you fucking ugly ass
Yo,
moronic
listen.
looking
Yeah,
bitch.
V
You
V.
still
Shut the fuck
grant
up.
sameness in reality. There's no difference here. Now you can
Wait,
muzzle this dog.
repeat that
You
again.
can grab him by his two lips and close him like this with your fingers, so he can shut up. He can
Yeah,
wait
he's
his turn.
muted.
Yo,
Continue
G1,
with
check DMs real
Buffy's
quick.
So yeah. I'm trying to say my point. So the reason, like, I gave you like a resolution for a formal problem if that was a problem which you was like indicating, and that's just going
It
to
just
be
misunderstood my argument. If you think me
bro,
saying that,
can
it
you
just again
can
like I
you
don't understand how you were able to
but why
reiterate my
I'm
argument, but
confused,
yet
like
butcher it by virtue of
you're
giving me
saying
that example you gave me and
you're
said that it
saying
crumbles my argument. But anyways, go ahead.
so Jay, like if you want to do a sermon, go ahead, bro. Like I'm not gonna be here for you to just
No, I'm not.
yap
I'm not
everything
your pastor,
you're gonna
but I
do.
guess in this case, I am your pastor in a sense, or your priest or whatever. But you can go ahead and speak. I'll let you speak.
So you're my pastor? Oh, okay. Premise one, my pastor's smart. Premise two, Jad is not smart. Therefore, Jad is not my pastor. What the heck?
That's
But
very very
anyways,
funny. But go ahead.
when
It's
when
taking it from
yeah,
the
when
guy who, by the way, thinks that apparently me saying entity X cannot be distinguished by entity Y by virtue of existence is essentially crumbling down my argument, just ignoring the identity statements and all that. But go ahead, yeah.
yeah. Anyways, just keep yapping.
Go ahead.
Coming from the
Okay.
guy who like blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
shut your nerd ass
So the
up.
whole look, yeah. So look, your argument, right? I gave you a resolution, right, from a formal problem. That what if that is what you was going to indicate, which is just going to be using I to show like the Father and the Son to be identical to pure existence in one respect and to be different in another respect. And the latter respect would use a relator to indicate that difference, right? That's just going to be a formal issue which is resolved. But the implicit issue which you're trying to induce is going to be a metaphysical problem, right? And I gave you metaphysical examples to show that within a particular framework, which is going to be like Aristotelian to Mr. Metaphysics, when it comes to being and the way in which things are diverse, we can give examples related to created entities, such as if we see some X and some Y, let's say Jad or Joestar, right, are actual beings. When we say that Joestar and Jad are really distinguished, or there's a real distinction, existence isn't going to ground the distinction between Joestar and Jad.
Yes,
Why?
you already said this
Because
before. You're
Jad and
just
Joestar
repeating the
has
same point.
existence.
But go ahead.
Yeah, and you granted, yeah, and that's the point. So if you understand in relation to this, that this is granted, where you accept that when it comes to entities being distinguished, right, the distinction isn't going to be the existence,
Yeah,
but the
that's my
formality
point.
slash
I
nature
agree.
of the
That's
thing.
why the
And we hold on,
conclusion is
let me learn,
plausible to be absurd. Go
let me
ahead.
learn. Right, and we, substitute the variables and we, include the persons. We say like the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit have the same pure existence. But then when we say that the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit are really distinguished, right, the principle for this raw distinction isn't going to be the existence or pure existence, but the formality, right, in which the persons are constituted by which we say they're different in this respect. So
Yeah.
you granting to me the other case shows that in this case it's not going to follow.
Anyways, again, that's the whole point. I do not think that
The whole
existence
point.
can distinguish existence. You just repeated the same point. Didn't even engage with what I said. But I'm saying that that is going to be the entailment, considering that you take the properties which distinguish the persons to be identified as pure ase in reality. That's the whole point. And again, it's absurd. We know it doesn't make sense. That's my whole point of the argument. That is the argument. That's why the argument is positing some sort of dilemma in your paradigm because it posits something which cannot occur, i.e., pure ase opposing pure ase. That's the whole point. So when you take these relations to be pure ase in reality, which you do, since that they're identified as such in reality, then when you make an distinction independent of the mind, right, then you're invoking these properties, which are what in reality? Pure ase. So it's going to be
Okay,
pure
so
ase opposes pure ase. And again, your response to this is well, your argument crumbles because again, we don't distinguish entity Y by entity X by virtue of their existence. Well, yeah, I know that's fine, but again, that's the entailment of the argument I'm providing because you take these properties to be identical to the person or to be identical to pure say, whilst also saying that they account for a real distinction between these persons.
Baby, I'm a
so,
camel
so,
jockey. I drink the piss. I don't know why.
someone mute this girl, bro. Oh my god.
Yeah, read this.
So
Read
if,
this 5-year.
if your whole point is in general, when things are distinguished, they're not distinguished by their existence, then why are you saying within the Trinity they're going to be distinguished by their existence?
I'm saying that that's the entailment of the. Wait, are you asking me why I think that?
No, it's because you're saying that existence
I've
isn't
said
like
this.
when we
I've
say
said
like
this
things are
like
different.
80 times.
You see,
Why I
hold on,
think
let me
that.
learn. Like, but the point is, then tell me your
Go ahead.
argument assumes by existence is going to be the distinguishing feature in this case
It's not
when
assuming
it
it
isn't going
because
to
to
be.
say it
Yes,
assumes
it
it
is.
is to say that the earlier premises of the argument is positing that to be the distinguishing feature. No, that is going to be, as I already said prior, that is going to be the entailment of your position, which your position is outlined in the earlier, which would be outlined in the earlier premises of the argument. Now,
So
what
Jad,
I'm trying, and again, you asked me just now, is why do I think that that is the case, right? You asked me
no,
that previously.
you're saying, yeah, because it doesn't make sense for you to say that existence is not what distinguishing between things which are real or even
Okay,
conceptual.
again,
But then
okay.
when
Why
it
do you
comes to the
think that
persons here,
why do you even think that I concluded? Why do you
you're
even
trying to
think?
say, oh
One
my
second, because you
goodness.
asked me a question previously. I'm asking for the
Yeah, because you
clarification.
asked me, yeah,
Why do you?
exactly, and
One
giving the
second.
clarification.
Why? Because I mentioned this 80 times. Why
So
do
you
you
want to
even
give
think
three
that I
clarifications.
conclude pure say opposes pure say? Go ahead.
Your conclusion
Respect to
is
the person.
based on your faulty, yeah, so your conclusion is based on a deficient understanding of the Trinity
Again, I
and
didn't
the
ask for you
metaphysical
to go ahead
groundings
and
and
give
religion.
your opinion on what my
You
understanding
did.
of the Trinity is,
You asked
but I
me why.
asked you
You
to
asked me why. I'm
reiterate
giving you
my
that.
view on why I think that, not describe it in terms of, you know, giving some weird
That's not
ass
what you
like
said. That's what
insult
you're
to it.
saying now. That's what you're saying now. You didn't say that
I
earlier. Next time,
what?
be more specific.
I literally said
You're
to
saying
reiterate
that
my
now.
view. I literally said to reiterate my understanding of it. You
You
saying,
said, why
"Oh,
do
you
you
have a
think that?
deficient view," is not reiterating my understanding. It's
That really
ascribing a
reiterated,
description towards my understanding.
Jed.
No, go. Can you go ahead?
Jed, already,
Can you go ahead and
Jed, already
okay?
reiterated your view
No, you
many,
didn't
many
reiterate
times.
your. You just said it's a deficient understanding. That's not reiterating. So
During,
go ahead.
so,
How do
so during this
I? How am I
conversation,
able to conclude?
wait,
One moment.
don't interrupt me.
How
So,
how am I
so
able
during the
to conclude?
conversation, I did
I'm not
not
interrupting
reiterate
you.
your view.
I'm not interrupting you.
Yeah,
I'm
but I'm
answering
asking
your
you a
question.
question.
I'm providing clarification because you wanted clarification towards my
I
argument.
never
You
asked for
asked me a
clarification.
question, which I already responded to multiplicity of times. So to make sure
I
you're
never
tracking,
asked.
I'm
I
asking.
never.
Both of you, stop. So just to make this go smoother, both theses, can you just reiterate his position, if possible?
No,
Yeah,
not my
so
position. Are
so
you asking me to reiterate or him?
he's asking
Him.
me, but
Yeah,
are you
not
not
my
listening?
position, but essentially why I think pure ase opposes pure ase. Can he
Yeah,
do that?
so can you give like why does he think pure existence opposes pure existence?
Yeah, he thinks that just because the persons are pure existence and the persons are really distinct,
I never said
then it's
because the
just going to
persons
be.
are. Have I ever once? How many times have I said
Look,
the persons?
you're asking me. Look. Let
That's
me
just for
land.
further proof
Let me,
that you're just like
bro,
not
bro,
understanding my argument at
bro,
all. Because
bro.
okay,
Can you
go
start?
ahead.
Don't interrupt because we're
Continue
not gonna do
speaking, but
this.
you're wrong. That's not what I
We're not
said.
gonna
Go
do.
ahead.
We're not gonna. Okay, cool. So let me give you the substance of what you're saying, right?
No, I want
And
exactly on what I'm saying. You
you
already
wouldn't-
got that part wrong.
Okay.
There's no
you
Just,
know-
just to also be clear, when Bothesis gives his idea of what you're trying to say, let him finish. Write down what you think is wrong, then you can relate to him. And Bothesis, at that time,
Okay,
you'll be
sure, that's
quiet.
fine because I think he's
Okay.
asking me a follow-up question, I presume. But
Okay. Go ahead.
yeah,
It doesn't
so I
matter.
want to
You
give
can
you
still give your point. But yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Bothesis.
so I want to give the substance of your argument, right? What you're trying to give to me. You're saying that the three persons are pure existence, right? And the three persons are really distinguished. So if the three persons within reality are pure existence, then it's going to mean that pure existence opposes pure existence.
no,
Since the
that's not
persons
even
are pure
that's not even
existence.
the point of the argument. There's that's not the point of the argument at all.
Jad,
And that's
Even though
going
it
to be
is
a question.
true.
just let him go. Just let him go.
He's not done. He's not done. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's
Continue.
okay.
So there isn't a substance in what you're trying to argue in this case, where there's going to be an implicit problem if we see where the three persons in reality are pure existence. And because they're distinguished from one another, then it's just going to mean that they're distinguished by pure existence. Is that not
Are you
the
done?
argument where you're trying to give in substance? Yes or no?
Wait, can I just Rui, just to make sure like I heard you right. You just said that essentially I take now I'm not saying this is true. You're saying that my understanding of my argument is basically positing that the three persons are pure ase, i.e., identical to existence in reality, and because of that, when you try to distinguish them, it just concludes pure ase opposes pure ase, correct?
Yes, that's legit the
Okay,
substance
continue
of
with
what
what
you're
you were
trying to say.
saying.
Where's
Continue
your
with what you were
mom?
saying.
Is that correct?
No, oh no, it's not correct at all. In
Okay,
fact, in fact, you made the same exact mistake when trying to describe my argument about like 10 minutes ago, and I ended up saying, and although it is true that the persons are pure ase in reality, as you believe in ADS, so you would say that they're purely existent. I'm not invoking the persons for this argument. So in fact, you can have some very weird formulation, which nobody holds
Wait,
to, by
what?
the way, but I'm just saying for the sake of the argument, you could essentially even say that oh yeah, the persons are actually really distinct from the essence, but their properties, for whatever reason, are purely existent, right? Which is doesn't make too much sense, but maybe someone might say that, right? Let's just hypothetically say someone were to say that.
Are
Again, that wouldn't
you
really affect the conclusion of my argument. My whole point
are
is that
you are
I'm invoking
you
the properties more specifically, not the persons themselves, but the properties which distinguish the persons themselves. And I've mentioned this over 80 times. I'm not exactly sure why or how you made
okay?
this
Let me
mistake.
ask you let me ask you a question. So within my position, do the properties constitute the persons?
Repeat that. Sorry. Do the properties constitute the persons?
Yeah. So the
Yeah, they're
hypostatic
constitutive
properties.
properties.
Okay, so when we say like the father is paternity, is this a real identity relation? Or
Yeah,
we
that's
just saying the
obviously an
father is
identity
here?
relation, but again, that's
Okay,
not
so
going to equal to
you're
substitutivity.
speaking, yeah, so you're speaking about the Father, right, Son, and the Holy Spirit. So if we're saying
Yeah,
that
but I
the
don't say that the
properties constitute
property
hold
is.
on. Shush. You made a mistake, right? Because you're trying to
What
say, oh
mistake
yeah,
did I
you're
make?
talking about the property. Yeah, because you're saying what I'm saying in substance is different to what you're saying. Okay, cool. So if the properties constitute the persons, right, and the properties are the persons, and you're saying that if we see the persons are pure existence, and then we see the persons are really distinguished from one another, then it's just going to mean that pure existence opposes pure existence. So how's that going to be a demarcation between what you're seeing and meaning and to what I'm seeing and meaning if the properties
That what I'm
constitute?
saying in the same meaning is going to be the reason because you're only saying that's going to be the same due to the fact that there's a real identity statement between the properties and the persons.
You're not listening. You're saying what I said to
That's
you when I
literally what you
reiterate the
said before.
argument.
But okay.
You're not listening. You're not listening to what I'm saying. You're saying when I reiterate the argument, you said it was incorrect because you're saying that you're focusing on the properties, right?
Yeah, the properties which distinguish the persons. Yeah.
Okay. So are the properties the persons?
Yeah. Again, this is actually what I just repeated. I
I'm
said, yeah,
asking a question.
there is a
Okay,
real
so
identity between the
if the
persons and the properties, and I
so if the
posited this before.
properties okay, so if the okay, so in my position, if the properties are the persons, and I say that the persons are going to be well, pertaining to your argument, if the persons are pure existence and the persons are really distinguished from one another, then pure existence is going to oppose pure existence. So how is that going to be a demarcation in substance or meaning to what I'm saying regarding to your argument and what you're saying right now? There
It's
isn't any
just
distinction.
specific because I again, as I said previously, it's not specific enough
I'm
because
asking in substance,
the
buddy,
persons aren't. I'm not
substance.
done. You just asked me a question and I'm answering. Don't speak again, because then the persons themselves aren't necessarily properties. they are constituted by a property, right? And that's what is distinguishing them. So I'm going to account for what is distinguishing the persons amongst themselves to conclude a multiplicity in their own hypostases, right? Again, you wouldn't invoke the persons for that. So again, your description of it is completely wrong, and that is exactly why I give the hypothetical on how you could, in fact, say that the persons are really distinct from from existence. Yet the conclusion could still be the same, granting that you say that the properties are purely existent.
Yeah.
Because
The point.
that's the only essential in terms of my argument. That is the main prerequisite for concluding this argument.
The point is, even if we talk about the properties, right, and the persons, because like I told you, the way in which properties are understood within a Thomistic lens, right, in reference to the persons, is that it's just going to be things which we understand of the said person. But then we see this said person
Yep.
is this thing in which you understand of it within reality. So we don't say that paternity is something which the father possesses, right, but it's something which he is.
Exactly,
Likewise
by
with the other
identity.
two persons. So when
Yeah.
so there isn't any demarcation between what I'm saying in
Again,
substance
I have no
and then
idea
what you're
why.
saying in
I have no
substance.
why.
Yeah, hold on, shush. No, I'm not
Okay.
done.
Go ahead.
I'm not done. Right? And the what's it called? The response which I gave to you is still going to be the same. I stated to you that it assumes that existence, right, is going to be the distinguishing feature between the persons, which isn't. It's just going to be the formalities, right, which correspond to the said persons. And earlier you granted something which actually makes your argument fall face flat. Why? Because if you say that some X or some Y, right, is going to be distinguished, and the distinction isn't grounded in the existence and the formality, then we can use this example and reference it to the Trinity and to say that, okay, cool. So within reality, right, the three relations are pure existence. But then when we say that the three relations are not each other, we're going to reference that to the formalities, which is indicated by there being two, the way in which they relate to one another. But then you're saying, oh no, but in this case, it means this and this and that. But I legit gave you an example related to a different order, right? Created entities, in the way in which you understand things to be differentiated. And then we're trying to see this in relation to the infinite order, in the way in which it's going to be understood regarding to like the three persons on God, right? And how they're practically differentiated. But you're not really given any like adequate reasoning to show my response to be unnecessary in this case.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. So again, I have no idea why. Like you do this thing where you'll like object to my argument, which is fine. Then I'll respond to your objection. But then for some odd reason, you claim that you're responding to my objection of the objection of your argument, but you just repeat the same exact thing. You literally just repeated the same exact thing you said prior, which is the part where I interrupted you in because you're repeating yourself. You said, but you posit this real identity statement between the persons and the properties. Again, yes, I do, which is again, you just repeated yourself. I do posit that, but um, again, I wouldn't necessarily say it's correct to say that the persons should be utilized here because it's very vague to utilize the term persons. And again, because we are speaking on what distinguishes these hypostases themselves, which they can be in, which again, they don't necessarily quote unquote possess, but they are the properties themselves. Yet, even though they are the properties themselves, you still say that that which distinguishes them are these relations. And the relations aren't going to be substituted with the persons according to you. So even then, it's even according to you, it would be better to say that the properties are that which distinguish the persons, obviously. And it would be better to use properties in this case, and it would be wrong to use the term persons, according to you, right? Or according to
What?
your paradigm and how you would formulate it.
Wait, what? How? What?
I'm saying
Well,
according to your paradigm, not that you're the one who is not
according to my
your proof.
according to
Again, I
my
know that according
paradigm,
to
that wouldn't be
you,
the case.
uh,
According
what?
to my paradigm, that wouldn't be the case. So what are you talking about?
Yes, according to no, you don't posit any sort of substitutivity of identity, correct?
I do, but it's going to be restricted. It's not going to be unrestricted.
So, for example, if I say that um, the persons are the relations, this is an identity statement. Can I substitute paternity with the father?
You can't substitute it in every context. No, like you can't. No, that's not going
Not
to
in
be the
every
case because
context,
you don't
in
believe.
terms of what distinguishes one another. So, what distinguishes the
Repeat.
father from the son?
what distinguishes the Father from the Son is going to be his personal, or the way in which he relates to the
Yeah,
person
because the
of the Son.
personhood itself is going to be, or what constitutes that personhood is going to be paternity. But you wouldn't say that the Father is what distinguishes the Son. That literally doesn't make any sense. You would say that the paternity distinguishes the Son. But even though
You say,
paternity and the Father are, according to you, substituted, can be substituted in some senses, or in some cases, it wouldn't be in this case in specific, right?
the point is the Father is distinguished from the Son in the way in which he relates to one another. So when we're
Yeah,
talking about
but
like
again, answer my
properties,
question. You wouldn't say that you can substitute paternity and father when I say that the Father. So when I say that the Father is distinct from the Son, and I say that paternity distinguishes the Father, paternity distinguishes the Son from the Father, from the Father. Wait, sorry, paternity
yeah,
distinguishes the
yes.
Father from the Son. You wouldn't say that you can substitute Father in for paternity and conclude that, right?
Yeah, we wouldn't say that because the
Exactly,
way
but
in
that's
which
my
it's
whole
going to be
point.
categorized. Yeah,
That's my
look,
whole
but your
point.
whole
That's why
point,
I'm saying
but
that we need
I'm
to use the
saying,
term
you're not listening,
that's the whole point.
You,
You conceded that, yeah.
you're not listening. Yeah, you're not listening. Even if we speak about the properties of the persons, and we say, oh, the persons in the way in which they relate to one another is going to be what distinguishes them, all the properties, right? The response is still going to be the same because you're trying to
Again,
assume. But
again,
bro, don't interrupt me, bro.
again. No. Because I think you're going
Again,
too far.
don't interrupt
Go
me
ahead,
again.
what were you gonna say? Go
Don't
ahead.
interrupt me again. Don't interrupt me
Go ahead.
again,
Just go ahead.
bro.
Speak. Go ahead.
Well, yeah. So you're assuming for the properties, if you say the properties, is being what's considered here, right? Paternity, filiation, and participation, right? We can still understand, but this indicates a formality which is possessed by the persons, but which we say that the persons are different. So when we say paternity, filiation, participation, right, are going to be one and the same thing in reality, insofar as it indicates pure existence. It doesn't mean that the formality, right, such as paternity, and the formality such as filiation, is going to be pure existence by which is indicated here for them to be distinguished. Because when we look at a relation in itself, a relation is twofold. There's being in and being two.
Mm-hmm.
The being in is going to be the same, the being two isn't. And if you want to say the being two is going to be what constitutes the person to be different, which it is, which implies the properties, then the
Yeah.
properties, right, is going to indicate that the way in which they relate to one another. What the heck is happening on my screen? The way in which they relate to one another is going to be what makes them different, and not pure existence, in which you're trying to collapse pure existence in this case.
Yeah. Again, but you're not invoking the fact that there's still this you're not addressing the fact that there's still this identity statement,
What's
which is what is
identity really?
concluding,
What's
which is what is
really?
entailing this conclusion. Because again, you did make the blunder in saying that the persons are that
What's
which are pure thing, and that in itself was already proof that you did not understand the argument. And by the way, you
what's
completely avoided previously. One second, don't interrupt me. Previously, we were talking on why me saying properties is completely different than me saying the persons are identified as pure in reality. And you just completely avoided that, by the way. You jumped onto the argument again and how pure doesn't oppose pure and how that wouldn't be the conclusion of my argument despite an identity statement in reality. But again, you could posit a formality, but when you reflect that in reality and invoke the properties in reality, you're just invoking pure you're just invoking pure. That's my whole point.
what idea?
So again, these
What
formalities
what
are not
what
relevant at all.
what identity relation? What identity
What?
relation which is being invoked? Asking you, what
Again,
identity relation?
what identity? You would obviously posit a relative identity and relative identity.
Yeah, so if we use relative identity and we say that the Father and the Son are pure existence, and we say that that's going to denote so to F, and then we say G is going to denote them to be
That's fine,
distinguished by
but
the
again,
latter,
relative
then
identity
that
is not
isn't
going
going to
to affect
be
the
that.
argument because you grant.
Then that isn't. Then
Go ahead.
okay, identity relations are wait, hold on. Identity relations are logical. So are you saying that
Yeah, in this
there's an
case, they're
identity
logical.
relation which is
They're
metaphysical?
not going to provide a constitutive account for this identity. That's all it's going to
I'm
say. It's not
asking you. Hold
metaphysical.
on. I'm asking. Wait,
But
hold on. Because you keep saying it. Look. It's either It's either
but
that
you still
you're
grant real
using.
sameness.
Hold
You still
up.
grant real
Hold up,
sameness.
bro. Hold
Yes.
up. Buddy. Hold up, buddy. Because I can, appeal to my scholastic identity relation, talk about material and form identity. If that's what you really want to do, I could do that as well. I don't mind. I don't mind doing that.
That's
right?
not really going to make
But then,
much of a
but then
difference. But
it really
if
is
you
what
want,
it
I
is.
mean, it's just going to make you look a little. It's going to make you look a little more confused.
it really
Stating that
stop interrupting me, bro.
I'm not. I mean, you just randomly said if you want me to appeal to material form identity, I can do that, and I'm
No,
responding to
you was
that.
talking
Go ahead.
about when you're saying same. Look, you're indicating some sameness relation, right?
You
And
will
then
grant that.
what is the sameness relation which is being invoked by you, but which you're saying that
I'm
the
not. I'm not,
argument
I'm not saying the sameness relation, but I'm saying that according to your
you
relative
said there's
identity
going to be
theory,
an
which you
identity
invoke,
relation.
your theory of identity, i.e., relative identity, still posits sameness in these identity relations. Any identity relation, there's being posit. So, for example, Jad at T1 and Jad at T2, Jad at T2, they're obviously going to be distinguished via non-sortal predicates. So when I make an appeal to relative identity, right, I can still say that Jad at T1 and Jad at T2 are the exact same, right? But by virtue of their human nature, which is desortal in this case. So again, relative identity still grants real sameness. That's my point, and that's the point of this argument. So that's why
The
an appeal
point,
to relative identity is not relevant,
sameness,
and it's not going to help.
sameness. Look, you're saying, but okay, cool. You're saying sameness relation, right? What sameness relation which you're invoking here? Because if we use the sameness relation which I'm put, which is just going to be relative, right? Then we're going to say
Again,
that any predicates
it's
ready. Wait, hold
relative,
on, man.
but it still posits.
Chill out, man. Chill out. Lord of mercy.
You're asking me a question and I'm answering. What? Chill.
You can answer it after I'm done speaking. And the question was
Okay, just
rhetorical.
don't shotgun your points, but go ahead.
What do you mean shotgun my points? Right? I
Don't
gave you
ask a
a
multiplicity of
response to
questions
your
to ask
argument.
bring up
Then
multiplicity of points, but go ahead.
multiplicity, bro. I'm refuting your points. What other points am I bringing? But it's new. Like the same points which I'm giving to you now is the same points I gave to you earlier. What are you talking about? But anyways,
No, you're
right?
responding to me about
Again,
the sameness thing, but go ahead.
and this response which I'm going to give to you now is the same response I gave to you 20 minutes into the conversation. So it's not anything new. But anyways, like I was saying, so this sameness relation, right, in which we say the father is the same under sortal F, right, and different under sortal G, there's going to be predicates relative to that sortal. So if you're granting that this identity relation is what's being going to is what's being involved in this case, then it's not going to be the case that pure existence, right, is going to be the distinguishing factor between the two persons, because we can say pure existence, right, is going to be relevant to the sortal F, right, which is going to denote like the divine essence, right, in which has pure existence as one of
Yeah,
its
well,
like
your
essential
pure existence
predicates,
is
by
a
which
sword,
we
as I mentioned
say,
before.
oh, Lord have mercy.
Well, I'm
In which
helping
we
your
say,
point here. But yeah, go ahead.
you're not helping. You're helping. Okay, so you're helping yourself to get folded. Makes sense. But
But
anyways,
you got folded.
like
No,
I
not
was saying,
necessarily. I mean, you're just repeating yourself on and
so
on again. I'm not sure
yeah,
how
and
a retarded Thomas from TikTok is going to fold anyone here, but go ahead.
look, I don't mind if you want to help yourself get folded again. Like, I don't mind. You can add to the point.
Yeah,
I
go
don't
ahead.
mind. You can
Continue
add
with
to
your
the
quote
piece.
unquote folding. Let's see the folding. Go ahead.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
far, we've been in this
yeah.
conversation for
Anyways,
over
yes,
an hour, and we haven't
yeah,
seen any folding. But go ahead.
Jad, stop interrupting me, bro. I'll be raw.
Yeah, don't interrupt him, bro.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Thank
Speak.
you. Okay, cool. So again, if we take this to F to be like all of the predicates related to F, but which we say the two persons are the same under, right? Then this predicate, let's say pure existence, isn't going to be in the sortal G, but which we're considering the two objects, let's say the father and son, to be different. But then you're saying that, okay, cool, even if the sameness relation here is granted, then it's going to be the case that what's it called? But pure existence, right, is going to be the distinguishing factor between the persons. That makes no sense. Because if we take relative identity, let me even put in the comments. If we say X, so if we say X, so if we say F is the same, is the same F, right? F is the same F, the same F as S, but not G, where F stands for divine essence, essence, where F stands for divine essence,
Anytime now.
Don't worry, buddy. I'm writing it out for you.
What?
And G stands for relations. Right. Okay, so if I put this in the chat, so if I say F is the same F as S, but not G, then all of the predicates related to sort of F is going to be what we say, where the father and the son is the same under. And all the
You're lagging a
predicates
little.
relative to G is going to be the distinction between the persons.
You're lagging. G1, hello.
Hello?
Yes, you're
I think you're
lagging.
lagging
You're
a lot.
lagging.
Let me leave and come back.
Yeah.
F
Do
is the
that.
same F as S, but not the same G. F is defined essence, G is relation. We literally know that.
Just calm down there, buddy.
What?
Nah, I was talking to myself, bro.
Yeah, good
What were you
bitch.
saying?
G1 saved me.
See, what do you think of the argument so far? The
I
dialogue.
don't think the argument succeeds for like
No,
personal
I'm talking
reasons.
about the dialogue. I mean, sorry.
Oh, the dialogue. I think. Well, I kind of left for a bit, but I think what G1 is saying is they're distinguished. Like the Aristotelian view is that existence isn't something that acts as a differential, but rather it's like the mode of
Wait, you can.
existence or the
Wait,
essence.
I want to talk to G1. Hold on.
Alright.
Okay, G1, you back? You still lagging?
Yeah, but see, that's not his point, to be fair.
I wasn't here for too long, so
Yeah.
what's up?
Thank you,
Continue.
Zoru, whoever your name is. Anyways, you both. G1, are you there? What? Wait, what's happening?
No,
Yeah,
he's
Good, you want
he's
to be
not
still
there?
he's
here
still
now.
connecting, but see, his
That's what
point is
Sangha
just
sounds like
that
him.
Yeah.
his point is just that when you say like the relational properties, like for example, paternity, filiation, are identical
You
to pure
can hear
existence.
me.
Oh yeah, we can.
You
Go
can
ahead.
hear me.
Hello? You there?
Yeah, so like I was saying.
Wait, hold on, I'll be right
Yeah,
back. I'll be right back
so
1 second. I'll be right back. I have to deafen real quick. I'll be right back. Just give me a minute. I'll be back in like a couple
But
minutes.
all right.
tonight,
But
bro.
yeah, see, he was just saying, what's it called? That when like, for example, paternity and filiation are identical to existence, when you say like, for example, paternity is not filiation, he's saying that translates to like pure existence is not pure existence.
Yeah, no, I understand the argument.
Mhm.
I just don't think it's successful.
It's
Yeah,
not
me neither.
it's not
Yeah.
successful because he's saying the identity relation here, right? If we take it to be relative, then it's still going to be the case where pure existence is going to be the distinguishing factor between the
Wait,
persons.
aren't you just gonna
But, but
aren't
that
you
makes
just gonna say
no
like aren't you just
uh-huh.
gonna say like for example they have the same like being in, but like where they're ordered towards or like their termination isn't the same?
Yeah, being in can be like you can use it like any sort to indicate. They can say like being in is going to be the way in which we say the persons are the same under, and then being towards is going to be the
I'm not
the
just
person. But
G1.
the point, but you always say
I was gonna say there's a dialogue from this guy called Max Black, and like in the dialogue they talk about this thought experiment where there's like a possible world and there's like only two
The black
spheres,
sphere.
two
Yeah.
identical spheres, and I think that dialogue kind of explains the whole relation thing because it seems like plausible that there could be just a possible world where there are two identical spheres. And then the issue is that if you just say, oh, well, how do we distinguish between one of the spheres if they're both identical? The issue is that you need to refer to both terms in the relation. So I don't really understand how the argument succeeds because if you're just referring to what they are alone, like, oh, like the father's pre-existence, so how can you distinguish the father from the son? You're not actually fulfilling the relation because you're not referring to the son in the same strain. That's just how I see it.
yeah. And is
Anyway.
and the reason and the point is he's granting too
Where
many
the fuck he showed me what's gonna happen?
and the
Yeah, hello,
point
I'm
is he's
back.
granting
Hello?
You are
so
stupid
did you
motherfucker.
see? Oh my goodness, bro! Why is people so degenerate in this server?
Everyone, yeah, Porky, 1 second.
So
So back to Boethicius and Jad. Go
Okay,
ahead. No
so
one
I
talk.
read your message. F is the same F as S, but
yeah,
not the same G. So obviously
yes,
S So in this case, what would you take the sort of predicate to be? F.
F is going to be
sorry. The lowercase f is the. Yes, it would be f. It would be the capital F, correct?
the capital F is just going to be the divine essence. It's right
Yeah,
here.
which is the sort of in this case.
Yeah, and then G is going to be the novice total, which is going to be the relation.
And do you take? So when you say it's the same F, what do you think "same" means here?
The sameness relation is
Again,
going to be
yeah.
satisfied by a weak equivalence relation. So
So
there's
there's a
going to
weak
be a
equivalence
numerical.
relation.
Yeah, so there's going to be a numerical identity relation, right,
Yeah,
which satisfies an
real identity
equivalence
statement, right?
relation, which is
Or
going
real
to be
statement.
weak. Repeat that again.
And even though we're granting a weak equivalence relation, we're still granting a real identity statement and real sameness, correct? Despite
What's
identity
real?
being relative.
Cash out real sameness. What do you mean for something to be really the same?
Well, you're granting a numerical identity statement, correct?
Yeah, and this is going to be logical because identity relations are logical. But then you're saying that the sameness is going to be real. So you're given a
I would just say
metaphysical
for it to be real, it has
account
to
of
be some sort of
identity.
numeric identity statement. So they're
Numerical identity.
the same.
What do you mean by? Yeah, wait, hold on. What do you mean by numerical identity state? Because
There would
are you
be
talking about
no.
in the sense of how it's understood within like classical logic or by logicians, or like are you given like a different sense of it? Like what
No,
sense
it's
is
the
being
same sense that you're
invoked here?
using it then. Yeah.
But then it's going to be a logical relation. It's not going to be like some metaphysical account which you're trying to posit.
Yeah, I'm not. No, for me to say that there's a metaphysical account is for me to say that they're numerically identical because they have, for example, by the way, this isn't like what I'm positing, but I'm just giving an example of why one might posit a numeric identity statement. But I might say, if I were to give a metaphysical account, I would say that they would be identical because they have the same properties. But we're not necessarily providing anything, a constitutive account like that for the identity statement. Rather, we're
Yeah,
only saying that there's some, we're relativizing it rather, which is accounting for something logical rather than metaphysical in this case.
yeah, but the point is you're saying there's going to be a real, you're invoking some sense of sameness which is going to be real. But then you're saying that, oh yeah, you're using it in the same sense of, in the way in which I'm using it, which is just going to be logical, right?
Yeah,
So
I
it
don't have
isn't
an
going to be
issue
real
saying
but
it's
logical.
logical.
Those are two
I'm
different
not using it
those are
to
two different
provide.
orders.
Do you think that when I see numerical identity, I'm saying that there has to be they have to have exactly the same properties or something, like some sort of
Numerical no,
Leibnizian view?
the point is during this conversation you haven't given me a notion of identity which you're invoking in this situation.
Well,
I
because
have
I'm not. Why would I attack a notion of identity which you don't even hold
no one
to?
said
Why
attack.
would
No one
I
said
invoke a notion of
no
identity
no
when
no
I'm
one's saying
attacking
no.
your position? I know
That's not
that.
what I'm
Hold on one second. I
no,
know.
that's not
One
what I'm
second. Don't
saying.
interrupt me.
That's not
You interrupt again. You don't like when I interrupt you, so don't interrupt me. Even though I interrupt you when it's necessary to do so. But anyways, you're essentially saying that why I haven't provided an identity theory. But again, under ADS, it is plainly stated that the other properties and the persons are identical to the essence. But again, there's obviously disputed on what this identity statement is and what theory we invoke. That's why I'd ask the Thomist I am having the dialogue with
I'm not a
what
Thomas, by the
identity
way.
theory he invokes.
Yeah, I'm not a Thomas one. And two, right? You're
Or,
saying there's a
sorry,
real
well,
It's
I'm
a
not
sameness.
really sure which one,
Pentecostal.
but you're an ADS
Yeah,
proponent of some sort. That's my whole point.
yeah.
Not to say that
Look,
Thomas and ADS proponents are all the same.
I
But
take
yeah,
listen. My position where I take is Paul James Peter. Right, that's the position where I take, bro. But look,
that's
you're
fine. I mean,
saying there's a real
okay. Thank you.
yeah, the point you're saying is a real you're saying there's a sameness relation, and the sameness relation is real, right? So you're importing some notion of identity. So I'm asking you, okay, cool. What notion of identity which is being indicated here when you're saying there's a sameness relation within reality? You haven't given me an account of that. You're saying that, oh, the sameness relation which is being indicated here is numerical identity. I asked you, okay,
Well,
cool.
that's
So what
exactly
notion?
what I asked you. I asked
What do you
you.
mean?
You actually answered my
So you're
question.
asking me?
No, but you
So
did
you're asking
answer.
me?
But you did answer. You ended up saying. I asked you when you say that F is the same. When you say that F, i.e., the Father, is the same divine essence as the Son, but they're not the same G. You ended up saying that sameness here refers to, which is what relative identity would posit, only some sort of logical relation. Number one, and number two, um, it entails a weak equivalence relation. Correct?
Yeah, that's what I said, but that's not really what I'm saying now pertaining to what you're saying.
Yeah,
look,
but
you keep
that's
saying,
well,
look, you keep look.
that's
Every
we
time I'm talking about like
sameness
identity,
is
look,
again
same. Look, you haven't given. Look, the point is, where you're saying that's
because
what
I
sameness
already
is,
explained why
but then
I
when you're
wouldn't
saying
give it to you
real,
because that's absurd.
then you're given an idiosyncratic understanding of
Oh my
like
gosh.
yeah, then you're just given an idiosyncratic understanding of sameness. When you're saying there's a real
You just
sameness,
said, wait, I don't
then you
get it. I
just
don't get it.
mean
I don't get it. I don't get it.
let me learn.
You
Let's
literally just
you will
said
understand. You will
no.
understand
I'm
if you understand
interrupting
what
you
I'm saying.
because it's relevant to interrupt you now because you're contradicting yourself previously, or at
I'm
least
not contradicting
getting to that
myself.
point. Getting to that point, you literally stated that in this entire discussion, I have never provided what I mean by sameness or identity. Now you're saying I have provided something like that.
No, that's not a contradiction. One again,
You're
you
saying I
haven't
haven't,
given
haven't. Which
account.
one is it?
Look, you understand because maybe if you're not interrupting, you understand. One, you haven't given
Which
account
one?
of what identity relation which you're given. That
And I
is
already explained
true.
why I
But then
haven't,
you
or why I
say, hold
haven't
on, chill
stated
out,
it
chill out, chill
explicitly.
out,
But go
chill out,
ahead.
chill out, chill out, chill out. But then you say, but it's when you ask, oh, when I ask you what sameness relations being indicated here, you say you're real. I ask you, how is this going to be cashed out? You don't give it to me. But then the point
Because I'm
is,
not
when
sure
you're
how you
saying, hold on,
define
let
real
me land. Oh my,
identity
bro,
statement, your
chill out,
paradigm,
bro,
your theory
chill
that you
out, bro,
invoke. I'm
chill
attacking
out.
your view.
Look. Bro, chill out, right? You're saying that the sameness here is going to be real. I'll ask you, what does it mean for the sameness to be real? Can you cash that out? Because that seems that you're given a
Again,
metaphysical
I
notion.
already
Bro,
okay. First
loads
off,
of mercy,
you
bro.
repeated G1
Bro,
with all due
can you
respect.
start interrupting me,
You
bro?
repeated yourself like a
Can you start
schizophrenic. But
interrupting
with
me,
all
bro?
due respect, I said you already repeated this same exact point before. You said you have not given an account of what sameness or identity means. Can you please cash that out? I responded, and now we're here to where you stated the same exact thing again. Now, what did
Again.
I reply? I want to make sure that you're tracking, or you're just wasting my time. What did I
I'm
respond
wasting your
with
time.
when you said that? Can you
What you
reiterate?
saying?
So I'm wasting your look, you're actually dumb.
Oh,
Look,
answer
when
my
you
question.
you
What
said
did
you
I
said
say? Answer my question.
the
What
point
did
is
I answer with?
you're saying there's a real sameness, right? And this real
Again,
sameness
no,
relation is going to
no,
be
no,
a
no, 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 no.
numerical
Again,
identity relation,
again,
which I'm
you
using.
already repeated yourself. You said this same exact line you just said prior, and I objected to it already, and then you gave me the same exact response. What did
What's the
I respond to
objection?
you prior? When you asked me, why are you not, when you asked me, when you told me I need to cash out some sort of, need to cash out what I mean by sameness and identity here, when I say that there's this real identity statement and sameness being invoked. And I said, and I objected to that and I responded. What did I respond with?
Give the response. You said that it's just going to be a real sameness in which I'm using
I
it in
did. Oh,
my
I never
sense.
said that. In my
So you
response,
never said
again,
that
this is the
meaning.
exact reason why you're wasting my time. I
I'm
never
wasting your
said that.
time.
Shut up, and don't interrupt me if you really want the
Let's
answer. I never said that
listen to
in
the
my
response.
shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. I never said that in the response to when you asked me to cash it out. When you asked me to cash it out, which is exactly what you just did, I ended up saying, because you're basically, you want me to cash it out. You requested this 2 times of me, even after I gave the response. And the response I provided was that, hold on 1 second. The response I provided is that I'm not going to cash it out due to the fact that um, I'm attacking your paradigm, and you're an ADS proponent who already invokes these identity relations in these statements. So that's already a given, granting you affirm ADS. So I would ask my opponent in the dialogue what he takes these identity statements to mean, right? And what theory of identity he posits, and then we'd work with that. So again, you're asking me something that you would get no answer to because you are the answer. You have the answer to that. I'm
You
attacking your
dumbass, and I
view.
gave you the answer. And what was my answer I gave to you? Because that's what I legit said. You said
Yeah,
that
I know,
okay,
and you already
we're gonna
provided
use
the answer. You said that's
okay,
not
okay. So if I provided an answer, then it's not going to be the case for pure existence, distinguish pure existence if we use
well,
relative
no, because again,
identity. Then
that's not.
what do you mean
No, it's
no?
not. No, it's not
Okay,
because
so
again,
okay,
does
respond to
your
this.
view
Wait, respond to this.
you
If
that
is the
that's not the
same, F.
case. That's not the case because according to relative identity, even according to you, you still posit a real identity statement, correct?
What does raw identity here mean?
Just because it's a logical
What
relation,
does it mean? What does it mean? When
according
you
to
say
you,
real
a
identity, what
real
is it?
identity
What do you,
statement,
according to me? I haven't said
according
that.
to
What
you,
does it mean?
according to you, a real identity statement is going to invoke some sort of numeric statement, identity statement. I believe that's what you said, and a weak
Yeah.
equivalence relation.
Yeah.
But the numeric identity statement
And what's that?
isn't
And what's that?
understood,
And what's that?
shouldn't be provided under a logical.
So,
It's a logical relation, not a
so,
metaphysical relation, like what a
so,
Leibniz account would provide.
so you said that what I provided and what I provided is relative identity. So if that is the identity relation which has been invoked, then your argument isn't going to be fleshed out. Since pure
Again,
existence is going to be relative,
we already
and
worked
don't
with
please
that.
don't
No, it's
interrupt me.
not,
Don't
because
you
you would
haven't
still
given a
because
counter
again,
argument.
it's not relevant.
You stop
We're not.
interrupting me. Stop interrupting me, bro. Don't interrupt. Just don't
Not
interrupt me.
relevant. You could
Just
grant that
don't.
my
Just
argument is relevant
start
if I'm
interrupting me, bro.
providing. No,
I'll be real. Start interrupting
I'm
me. You just keep
interrupting you when
interrupting me.
it's right to interrupt you.
So you
Am I
want to
not?
keep interrupting me, but then you're asking
Because
me
you're
to
just
give you an
repeating
answer.
relative
And give
identity. You claim that my argument is already it's
because if
already
it's
done.
because if you grant the identity relation is relative, then your argument isn't going to be fleshed out. I hope you know that, right? I
Okay,
hope you
again,
know
and
that.
I don't agree with
You
that.
don't
Due to the
know
fact
relative
that
identity.
despite being a relative identity theorist, you still say that these properties are identified as pure in reality. The only difference is that there are no non-sortal predicates which are being um, said in the statement. Rather, it's going to be sortal predicates. That's how
So
you're
you're
going
saying
to tell
so
this
you're so
logical
your so
relation of
your point
identity.
is so look, you're saying that
But
oh
that's
yeah,
again
it's
not
gonna
denying
be a
that they're
real
identified as
identity.
pure
Hold on,
reality.
look, you're being a sophist, bro. You're saying it's gonna be a real identity relation because we're saying that within reality the persons are X, all the properties are this in reality. But then I ask you, okay, cool. So in this case, what is the identity relation which is the rule which you're invoking? But you're not saying anything.
Oh my gosh.
You even said,
You
hold on, let
already
me
know what
land.
the identity
Let me
relation
land.
is
Let's
between the
land.
properties. This
Let's
identity, which identity
bro,
relation
like
specific?
what when you see something's really identical to this thing, what metaphysical account of identity are you given? Because
There
you're
is no
saying it
metaphysical
isn't
account
this,
according to relative identity. There's only a logical account.
right? Because identity relations are logical. But then you're seeing real identity. Then
Yes,
what does
according
real
to
identity?
relative. Now,
What it,
only
hence
Leibniz
I'm
law would
asking
provide
for
some sort of metaphysical account for identity,
hence I'm asking
but
you for a
relative wouldn't.
metaphysical
But go
account
ahead.
hence I'm asking you for a metaphysical account of real identity.
There is no. If you're positing relative identity, there is no
So what does it
metaphysical
mean when you
account.
see something is really
Are you this
identical then? So
retarded?
you don't even know what you mean. So you don't even know like so you don't even have a
You
metaphysical
wouldn't have
account which you're
identity
using.
is constituted.
So
There is no
so
metaphysical
Jed,
account, but that
so
doesn't
Jed,
negate. Again,
so Jed,
it's relevant.
so you don't even have
Relax,
so when you're
G1, that's
saying
not relevant.
so when you're saying oh there's a real identity, you're just saying blah blah blah. You have
What?
no account. So you're saying there's a real look, I asked you for a metaphysical account, you said there's no metaphysical account. So when you're saying the
Hold on.
properties are this in reality and there's a real identity relation, and I'm asking you for that account, you're saying there isn't. So you're saying
Well,
oh
wait,
the
what you say, please?
properties
That's a definite real quick.
look, I asked you to give me an account of identity because you're saying real identity, that's going to be a metaphysical account.
Yeah, again,
You'll
I
see there
don't.
isn't
Again, if we're working, because
don't
I'm
interrupt me,
working
don't
under your
interrupt, don't interrupt
paradigm. I
me.
said 80
Don't
times.
interrupt me, don't
Your
interrupt me,
paradigm doesn't provide a metaphysical.
don't interrupt me, don't interrupt me, right? And then you
Relative
said, oh,
identity doesn't
hey,
posit a metaphysical account of identity.
shush, right? Like I was saying, I asked you for the metaphysical account of real identity. You said it isn't. So when you're saying the properties of this in reality, you're just saying the properties are blah 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 blah. You're having it's not intelligible. You're not giving anything for me to work here.
Again, your relative identity only posits a logical relation. There are no metaphysical accounts here. Only
So
a
what do you
logical
mean?
account,
Okay,
not
so if real
metaphysical account.
identity isn't something, okay, so if relative identity isn't something which is intelligible, then you're not seeing anything here.
Oh my God, relative identity doesn't posit a metaphysical account. I cannot
I
posit
never
a
said that.
metaphysical
I
account
never
for
said that you don't know.
you. In
I
fact,
never
you
said that.
yourself said that
I
it's a
never said
logical
it did.
relation. It's not a metaphysical
I
one.
never, you know,
You didn't
listening, use your
posit.
brain, use your brain,
Shut your mouth
use your
again.
brain,
Shut
use your brain, use your brain.
your mouth
I never
when the
said
student
relative identity posits a
shuts his mouth.
metaphysical account.
Right?
You said
When
there's
the
going to
student
be a
speaks.
real sameness relation, right? Which is
Oh my
going to
God.
indicate somewhat. You, listen, I never said
This is
relative
absurd.
identity
You're
posits
literally
a
just
metaphysical
freaking out.
account.
This is
I
embarrassing. You're
said,
just freaking out.
anyway.
I'll say this one more time, Joe. You
So,
can mute him or whatever, or we can
yo,
just end the discussion because it's reaching an
but what do you
impasse.
mean? You don't know what you're
Your
talking about.
account
You said,
doesn't provide
you
a
said, I never said
metaphysical
it did.
account
I
for
never said it did.
identity.
I never
Okay, both
said it
of you
did.
stop. Both
I
of you
never said
stop.
it.
Both of you stop. Both of you stop.
Huh, Joe?
If this is how this is gonna keep going, I think you both need like maybe 1 minute time each.
This is wasting my time at this point.
Yeah, I don't
for
mind.
sure.
I don't mind doing 1 minute time each because he'd be interrupting me more than I've been interrupting
I'm
him. I don't
interrupting him
mind.
when it's necessary to interrupt him.
I mean,
because
to be
he's just
fair, you're
going in
both
circles,
interrupting
as
each other
everyone saw
here.
prior.
And I
Yeah.
never said I
I'll
didn't
start the
interrupt.
timer.
Yeah, I never said I interrupted him. I said he's been interrupting more than I've been interrupting him.
Yeah, and I agree. And I interrupt
Okay,
you
okay, just okay, guys.
because
Hey,
you go
hey,
up there.
both of you stop. Both of
Yeah.
you stop. Who here can do the 1 minute timers because my phone is about to die. I cannot host the timing.
John, do
I
it.
can do it. I can do it. I can do it.
Alright, let him do it.
Okay, yeah, please, Rain. Rain is a trustworthy
All right,
fellow.
1 minute. 1 minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Bothesius, go ahead, and just let him know when you started, Rain.
All right, 1 minute.
Okay, beautiful.
Okay.
So you're saying that there's going to be a sameness relation here, and you're granting that the sameness relation here is going to be the relation which are provided, which is relative. But then you say there's going to be a relative, not a relative, but a real identity when we consider the properties in reality in reference to pure existence, right? Then I'm asking you, what is that metaphysical account of real identity which you're given? Because when you indicate something real, that's going to be ontological. But then you see that there isn't a metaphysical account. So when you're saying that in reality, right, the properties are really identical with the essence, that isn't going to be informative because you haven't given me an account which I can assess upon. So practically you're saying, oh, the properties are blah, 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 pure existence. That's what you're saying to me right now.
Are you done?
Still have 15 seconds left, but okay. All right, go ahead, Chad.
So literally, I have no idea why he just keeps constantly repeating himself. But as I said prior, I'm working under his view of identity, which he understands identity to be, because he's an ADS proponent, so he does posit identity statements. So I would ask him what identity theory he posits, and he posited a relative identity theory. A relative identity theory just utilizes sortal predicates to invoke these identity relations. But according to him, or according to relative identity, which he obviously subscribes to, there is no metaphysical account of identity. But that doesn't necessarily negate that you can't say that the properties are identical to the essence, or that purely or pure SA are identical to existence, and thus identified as pure existence in reality, because that's what they're identical to in reality. This is where this identity relation takes place. But again, I'm not really sure why you're asking me for a metaphysical account here. I mean, your view doesn't posit one either. It's purely logical. I give it the rest of my time.
Time's up. Yep, time's up.
Yeah, because the difference between my view is that relative identity pertains to a logical order, right? So it's going to pertain to logical relations in reference to identity statements. Whereas when you're talking about real identity and you're talking about like these metaphysical things, right, by which you're saying this thing is this thing, in reality, this isn't going to pertain to a logical order, but an ontological order. And if you're saying that there is a real identity within this ontological order, then there's going to be an account which you're going to go by. But you haven't given me an account which you're going by. So I don't know what you mean when you say that the properties are really identical in reality in reference to the essence, because you haven't given me an account. Hence you're saying, oh, the properties are blah, 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 the divine essence. But in like you have to really give me an account because you're talking about an ontological order when it comes to identity, brother. That's why I don't have to give an account because my position, right,
Time's
pertaining
up,
to
buddy. Time's
RI
up,
is not
buddy.
within
Time's
an
up.
ontological
Hello,
order.
are you here?
Time's
Hello,
up.
time's up.
Abu Haki, bro.
This guy's deaf, man.
Fuck it.
Okay,
Okay,
are you done? Okay. Again, as I already said prior, because you keep asking me the same question, or you keep implying like some sort of that I don't know what identity state I'm operating under. I'm operating under the one you are operating under because you are my opponent in this discussion, and I am attacking your view. So I'm operating under relative identity, which again does not posit a metaphysical kind of identity. I asked you what you mean by saying this, and what you mean, or even to see if there is a real identity statement, and you said that sameness here is just a weak equivalence relation, right? That's what you would posit as sameness when you said that they're the same sortal but obviously different in relations, right? Again, I would ask you, is there a real identity statement or not? And what do you mean by that? Because some theories of relative identity do posit a real identity statement and real sameness here, which in this case you do posit sameness, right? which you take to be a weak equivalence relation. But do you have an issue
Right.
saying?
All right, time's up. Time's up.
Okay, time's
Go ahead.
Yeah, relative identity doesn't posit real identity statements. It just pertains to statements which conforms to an identity statement. So that's just going to be incorrect. And again, if you're committed to the identity relation which I provided to you, then it's not going to be the case where your argument is fleshed out. Since we're saying pure existence is going to be relative to sort of F, by which we say whether person or the father and the son are the same under, right? And the sort of G is going to be the distinction between the two persons. Hence, the predicate or property pure existence is it going to be contained in sort of G but sort of F. So it cannot be the case where the persons are going to be distinguished by pure existence, since it's relative to sort of F and not G.
All right, you finished?
He just muted. I think it's done. It's your turn.
Yeah, go
All right,
ahead.
go ahead,
all
Chad.
right. Anyways, again, real identity statements, right? I first off, I only asked you if that's what you posited, so I'm not really sure why you said I was incorrect. Because again, I asked you, does your view of relative identity posit that, right? And you said no, it doesn't posit that. There are no real identity relations, right? And again, I presume that you just take a real identity statement in this case to just be like something which is what Leibniz would posit. But since that it's only a logical relation, according to you, you would not posit any sort of real identity statement. But there's still an identity statement which is by virtue of just some sort of sortal. But since that there's still this non-sameness in another instance, which is by virtue of their relations, then it wouldn't be real, and that would be logical. But nonetheless, the identity statement, which we can still see by virtue of the sortal, that in itself is going to be something which identifies the property in
All right,
reality as, which in this case is
time's
pure
up.
existence.
Time's up. Time's up.
And that's the
Go ahead.
conclusion.
Yeah, go
Should
ahead.
you add more time? I think you should add like extra 30 seconds.
No, that's fine. That's
Right.
fine.
No, I would
More
agree
time,
with
no
that
more time is
because
fine. More time.
It's fine. I'll
I
be real.
think
No, he's
I
saying if we
think
should add it in general.
yeah.
So
I think 1 minute, maybe 30 seconds should be enough.
no,
I'm
the
fine with a
time,
minute.
wherever
I'm fine with
wherever
whatever.
time is right now is fine. So
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm asking a question in it, so I can. So what do you mean by real identity statements? What do you mean by that? How is real being used in this case? It's a question, Jad, by the way. You can come with me.
Oh, you want me to answer?
Yeah.
Well, again, like what you could mean by real here, it might vary because there are some views like Daniel B's thesis, which might formulate their own view of like real identity and real sameness. But typically, I guess in light of this discussion, what a real identity here might suppose, which is what I think you assume, is that it's going to entail like some sort of Leibnizian view on what real identity is. So it would involve obviously like indiscernibility of identities and all that.
Okay, so when you mean by real identity, you're just saying.
And I guess a stronger equivalence relation, which is not what you posit.
So that's what. So a stronger. I never posited a stronger
No,
equivalence
I
relation.
said which is different than what you posit, which is a weak equivalence relation.
Okay. So real identity here isn't going to be ontological or assumes the existence of this thing in which the statement is like indicating, right?
Repeat that, sorry.
I said when you say like a real identity statement, it's not indicating but it exists like a thing in reality. When you say there's a real identity statement, you're not like positing any like raw objects in
So when I
reality.
say, for example, A and B are identical to each other, A and B both, only one object would exist, not both, right?
No. I'm saying that when you look at a statement and you see it is a real identity statement, are you saying that it's positing the actual existence of these objects?
Yeah, so again, when you have A and B being identical to each other, and it's a real identity statement, am I positing A and B to exist simultaneously? Is that what
Yeah,
you're basically
you're
asking?
saying the object A and B exists in reality. When you're saying the statement
No, they wouldn't.
is a real identity.
Simultaneously. If it's a real identity statement, no.
So
All
when
right,
you mean by real
your time
identity
is up.
statement, you're
Your
just
time is
saying
up.
You
that
can
it's an
continue with
identity.
allow him to continue, and then actually we could just do times
Yeah,
up.
but
'cause
but
we'll
the, but the point,
continue.
but the point is you're using
But
statements and terms which
ask
I
the
don't
question,
understand
I'll
how to
answer
be
your
used.
question.
Yeah, but I need to look. The point is you're using terms and statements which I need to understand for me to give a response by, because you keep using it,
Okay.
right? So when you
Sure,
say there's a
time's
real
up there.
identity,
Exceeded a minute. Go ahead, that's
what
final
is
thought.
so yeah? So when
Concede
you
a
say there's a
minute?
real identity, are you just saying that like X
No,
and
I didn't
Y?
say I conceded the minute. I said he overwent like the minute.
Yeah, I know he's done,
We
but
what?
he's still talking. I don't know, like,
I don't play either.
like, is it good? Okay,
We
continue,
what?
Jad. Your turn. Your time
So
is up,
They're,
buddy.
they're saying your time was up like long ago, and you
Yeah,
were
because I'm
still
not, I'm not, I'm
talking.
not, I'm not speak. Look, the point is, I'm not responding to him as of yet because I need to understand what he means by real
Bro, it's just
identity
gonna turn into another
statements.
discussion.
I mean, look,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
tried to
like,
give
Of
you
course, it's
more
gonna be
time.
a
You're the one
discussion.
who insisted on
The
1
guy,
minute,
No.
and
like
we're
you
sorry.
already
That's
answered
fine.
your question.
Whether it's a
He
question or a response, that doesn't matter to the time. Just to be clear.
yeah.
I don't care. He can speak if he wants. I'm just gonna keep asking him questions to understand what
No,
he's
you
saying.
Okay,
cannot
I
ask
already answered your
questions
question on what a
during
real
his
identity
time. Do
statement
you
I gave.
understand that?
I mean, okay,
I
first
can't
off,
hear what you're saying because you're getting
this person
Okay,
interrupted.
didn't
Judge,
insist I shut up, bro.
Judge, 1 second, Judge, 1 second. You cannot ask questions during his time. Do you understand that?
I cannot ask. So his time. Okay,
My
whatever,
time
bro.
starts now.
Unless he goes out of his way and asks you a
I
question that is
let
non-rhetorical, then you can answer. But beyond that,
yes.
you're just interrupting his time, which defeats the whole purpose of even putting a time. But yeah, let's
This is
go.
wait. Pause the time for a second because I don't know. Look, if you want me to respond to him, I need to understand what's being responded
Bro, I'm
to.
not
Let me
Because he's
gonna
let
not
me
pause
going
it.
to.
Oh my gosh, bro.
You went beyond your time. Your time was already over, right? You kept
My
talking,
moment,
right? It was his time in that moment because it was supposed to start. And you're saying, "Oh, but I can respond to him." No,
Joe,
you
what do you
cannot
mean
during
by
his
time, Joe?
time.
What do you mean by time? Wait,
Bro,
G1, should he
Wait,
define what
I
time
have a
means too?
question. Wait, I have a question for
I
Joe.
just don't. I just don't
If
get this. Bro.
G1 hasn't made a response, then when it's time for Judd to start speaking, what's he gonna respond to? Just out of
You know what
curiosity.
I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Like he's not responding. Yeah,
Is
like
like gonna
I can say
Wait, 1
anything.
second. Wait, Baptiste,
You
okay,
are
calm down a
get
little
me,
bit there.
fam.
Can you repeat that?
He's
Okay, so
saying
wait, hold on, G1.
No, no,
What
let
Basketball
C
said.
speak.
So
Go ahead.
G1 said I wasn't really paying attention, but what G1 said is that he was just asking him questions to get clarity on his position. So
Okay.
I don't think he's made a response yet. And so if
exactly. So what are you
now
gonna
Judd
respond
tries to
to?
respond,
So
what's he going to respond to? That's
so
when you
this
start
whole time
speaking.
when he was doing the Q&A, that was not involved within the 1 minute. Is that what you're saying?
No,
No,
yes.
that's not what I'm saying. Look, what I'm saying is that now that Judd
What
is
the
going to
fuck?
have his time, what's Judd going to respond to? What
Bro,
substance?
look. Okay, hold on. This is like kind of besides the point. But both of you, bro, please get like he's like embarrassing you. Your friend Manka or whatever. Bro,
What's that got to
please
do
like get your
with
boy,
this?
bro.
What's this got to do with the discussion with me and
No,
you? Look,
it has
the
nothing to do
point,
with this. I'm just saying, like,
the
it's
point,
genuinely like cracking me up, bro.
bro. I'd be look, you saying that you want to respond to me, but I haven't given a response for you to respond to. I've been asking you questions to understand what you're trying
Yeah,
to evoke for me
you
to
just
respond.
asked me. You asked me a question on what I mean by real identity. And by the way, I actually responded to this way prior, so I'm not really sure why you're continuing that
Because
series of questions.
it's very vague. That's the point, right? Because you
Yeah,
say it's
but,
not this
yeah,
and then
but
you say it's
okay,
this.
hold on. Look, no offense. Again, I'm gonna do this thing again to you because you have a horrible ability of tracking. Whether you admit this or not, everyone's already witnessed it. Horrible ability of tracking. You already asked me what you meant. You already asked me what I mean by a real identity statement, right? And now you're going on to say you're confused on what I mean by a real identity statement. What did I define a real identity statement here to mean?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you. Don't know what the heck.
Joe,
Joe,
Joe, are you listening to the discussion? I'm gonna ask two people. Joe, are you listening to the discussion?
Yes, sir. Hello?
Ask Joe.
Joe, are you listening to the discussion?
I'll be honest, not fully no. But you can
You
ask
Okay.
me something.
Who here is actually listening to the discussion? Genuinely,
ask
who here
anyone
is
here.
actually listening to the discussion?
Ask anyone here. Ask anyone. Ask anyone here.
Zuru, whatever your name is. Are you listening to the discussion?
I was listening, and I'm not a G1 glazer, just to be clear.
Okay, see, he did ask me what a real identity statement was. Not when we got into this issue of whether he should get his time cut off or not. But he did ask me what I meant by real identity a little before, correct?
Yeah.
And what did I answer with?
From what I heard, and I'm not trying to make a definitive statement, but from what I heard, you were talking about how you said two things. You said A, it's you're not going to give a metaphysical count as logical, and you said that B, you don't have to give an account of
That was
identity.
only with what relative identity is in his case.
Okay,
You
and
keep
the
asking
second
for
thing you were
magic.
talking about was something like You don't have to give an account of identity because he's an ADS proponent and they presuppose or suppose that there is some identity statement in God, something like that.
No. That was with something else. That was when he asked me to provide what I mean by identity. That was a while ago. I'm talking about because he posits an identity statement, but he doesn't posit a real identity statement. So he's trying to understand what I mean when I say real identity statement, right? He already asked me this a little bit ago on what I mean by real identity statement, and I responded with that. What did I say, C?
I'm not actually sure then if it's not what I already mentioned.
Okay. What I said by real identity statement was, well, in this case for you, I
Oh
said
wait, hold on, I might remember. Was it something to do for they would say something that it's like something to do with like Leibniz's law, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Thank
That's
you.
but that's not that's what you said. But
Yeah, that's what I said.
but
That's
then
not your view. That's not
you,
your view.
you
Nobody
said
said that's your
and it's
view.
gonna be a logical relation. So you're
Oh
just
my
using
God,
real in a different.
exactly. No, bro, to get
Oh
back
my
to my
goodness,
point.
bro. Oh
Again,
my goodness,
now I
bro.
want to continue
Oh
my
my
point.
goodness, bro.
Horrible, shitty tracking
So you're
abilities.
equivocating.
Again,
Then you're
what I
equivocating. You
said
don't know.
prior, when
Then you're
C just
equivocating.
reiterated what I said, shut up for 1 second. I want to continue my point. When C reiterated what I just said prior, I said that I know you wouldn't posit this because you posit a weak
I think we
equivalence
can start the
relation.
minute now.
But
We
what
can start
real
the minute now.
identity, unless you posit another form of real identity, like maybe what Daniel B would do when he formulates his view on relative identity, he gives something which is a little different than what like Leibniz would give. But what typically people would invoke with real identity would be some sort of Leibnizian one, which one posits a stronger equivalence relation than you do, which you posit a weaker one, and two would posit some sort of indiscernibility of identity in a metaphysical account, but you only posit a logical account. So I asked you, this is also why I followed up and asked you, do you even posit a real identity relation of any sort? Because maybe you would define it differently than what it may
Right.
be defined as. It's
Leibniz's
vague.
law doesn't pose a
But go
metaphysical
ahead.
account. What are you talking about? Yeah.
Oh my
Leibniz's
lord.
law. Leibniz's law doesn't
Bro,
posit
we
like
know
a
you don't
metaphysical
posit a
account.
metaphysical account.
I said Leibniz's law. You
That's not even
retarded.
what
You
we're
listening?
talking about right now.
I said Leibniz. You said that when it comes to real identity is satisfied by Leibniz's law, and then it's going to induce some indiscernibility, which is going to be a metaphysical account, which is being implied by the law itself. Is that not what you said?
Repeat that, sorry.
Oh my goodness. You say Leibniz's law satisfies a real identity, right? And is going to induce indiscernibility, by which we say metaphysically, right? There's going to be a count of.
Holy fuck.
Is that what
But
you're
do you
trying to say?
think that
Yes or
I'm
no?
positing a real identity statement right now?
I'm asking you a question, buddy.
No,
Is that
because
what
you
you're
asked
saying?
me
Yes or no?
previously, because we know that
Oh,
Leibniz's law does have a metaphysical kind of identity. We know that relative identity doesn't. But you repeatedly keep asking me
Leibniz's law
shut
has a
your mouth 1 minute.
metaphysical account. What?
Huh?
Leibniz's law has a metaphysical account of identity. What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
What are you talking about?
Leibniz's law has a metaphysical account of identity.
They don't just provide a logical one, they provide a metaphysical one too.
So what metaphysical account of identity does Leibniz law posit? When it comes to like, are you talking about the unrestricted version, or are you talking about the restricted version? Which one?
The non-restricted version.
The non. Okay, so what non-restricted version account is posited metaphysically? Show me, because I know that when you read on the SAP, it talks about a restricted version, right? On Leibniz's law, it talks about like intrinsic properties or intrinsic and
I'm not
extrinsic
sure. Do you
properties.
agree with me or you don't agree with me?
I'm asking you, give me right the unrestricted version of a metaphysical account of Leibniz's law.
An unrestricted version would obviously
It's so far.
what?
You said
Again,
there's
that's not.
people.
I'm not gonna go relevant. I'm not gonna steer away from the conversation.
You said
Right?
it posits the
No,
metaphysical
I said
account.
they posit
And
an unrestricted one, posit a metaphysical account. But either way,
give the metaphysical account.
huh?
Give the unrestricted metaphysical account. That's what I'm asking
That's not
for.
relevant towards the discussion.
Yes,
We're
it
not
is,
speaking on Leibniz's law because
no, no,
you don't
because you're
even
trying to
posit
say
you don't even posit Leibniz's law. We're speaking on relative identity.
Leibniz's law is not rejected by me entirely. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
I
because
hope
you,
you know
you
that.
hold to a restricted version where there's a weak equivalence relation. Leibniz's law posits
No,
something stronger.
no. What the heck? That's
What
not
do
my
you
no.
mean
I don't
no?
think no because my position is impure, meaning that absolute identity statements can be unrestricted if
Exactly, yes.
and only
So
if.
you don't
Hold
you
up,
don't hold to them in every single
shush. You
case.
don't know my position. If and only if,
Oh my
right?
god.
The identity which is understood within the context is absolute. I'm impure, not pure. I'm not a Gichian. I hope you know that, buddy. So
Yeah, I
I'm
know. You
asking you a
already mentioned
question.
before that
So
you
I'm
don't
asking
think
you,
his identity state. Yeah.
Leibniz's law in certain cases. So I'm asking you, right? Give me,
That's
right?
why you posit a
What
weak equivalence relation, correct?
the? I'm talking about absolute identity. What are you talking about?
Oh my God, what? Yes, we know
Oh
you're
my!
speaking about absolute.
I
You're speaking for
accept.
relative. You're a
Aki.
relative identity theorist. So
I
when
don't
you
believe all
formulated,
identity statements are relative. I hope you know that, right?
what did you say?
I don't believe all identity statements are relative. I
I
hope you
know
know that,
that, you
right?
retard. You already said
Okay, so
that.
then
You
why
already
you
said
keep
that.
talk,
Not
then
all.
why do you keep talking about a relative identity statement when I'm talking
Because you're
about
an impure
an
relative identity
absolute?
theorist. You're a relative identity theorist. Just the view that you hold to is impure, not pure.
Okay,
That's
so
all
if
it
I'm
means.
impure, what am I?
And
Okay,
again,
I'm
shut
speaking
up and
about
stop
an
freaking out. Let me
absolute.
continue what I
I'm
was saying.
speaking about an absolute
Joe, you just cut
identity
me off.
statement. I'm
You
asking
literally
about
just
an
cut me off.
absolute
Calm
identity
down,
statement.
calm down. I think we need
Calm
to
down
bring
for a
back the
second. Let
time.
me continue what I was saying.
Oh my goodness, this guy's dumb.
If this
You
continues,
posit,
then the 1 minute will
look,
come
look,
back.
you
Continue.
retarded buffoon. You posit an impure relative account of identity, right? And I'm saying that the account look, I'm just going by what you're telling me. Your theory of identity, which is relative, is going to posit weak equivalence relations, which would be different to a Leibniz's view, which posits obviously stronger equivalence relations, right? But then I know this because when you formulated your view on relative identity on with respect to the persons, you said that sameness here is just referring to something which is a weaker equivalence relation, right? Now the fact that you don't hold, because again, Leibniz law provides some sort of constitutive account of identity, correct?
Repeat that again.
Leibniz law provides a constitutive account of identity.
Yes, it does.
Okay, does relative identity provide that?
Yes, it does.
And the meta that would be what?
The constitutive account is a metaphysical. You don't know. Neither is Leibniz's law, and that's why I'm trying to
What?
press you on.
What?
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
Leibniz's law. Leibniz.
What
Yeah.
are you
When
talking
it comes
about?
to, you understand. So listen.
When am I mentioning a
So
metaphysical
listen.
account here?
You
What are you talking about?
earlier you did, and look, you don't
When
understand my
I
position.
just said that
Wait,
there is,
hold up, bro.
oh
Chill
my
out. Oh
fucking
my,
bro,
can you just chill
bro.
out for a second? Chill out for a second, right?
No, I'm interrupting you when I need
Just
to
chill
interrupt
out.
you
Chill.
because
Let me ask
you
you a
just
question.
said that that a
Pertaining to
constitutive
my
account is not a
position.
metaphysical account. You don't. I
Pertaining,
didn't even say the
pertaining to my
metaphysical account
position.
just now. So why are you connecting the two?
You're not
Answer
listening
me. Why
because
are you connecting the two?
you don't understand my position,
Okay,
one.
bro. This
And you,
discussion is literally just so useless, bro.
yeah,
Again,
because you don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Again, you don't know what you're talking about because
Is
I
it?
literally
Is
just
it?
said I never even
Is it?
connected a constitutive account with a metaphysical account. And right now, you fucking stupid retard, what you're answering with is assuming that. But I did never connected the two. And you're telling me not to interrupt you, but I'm not connecting the two. So I'm interrupting you to clarify, like, hey, what you're spouting right now is just void and nonsense because I'm not even assuming that to begin with. So
Again,
again,
did
I
you?
do
Did
know what
you or
I'm
did you
talking
not?
about. I'm
Did
just
you?
telling you that you don't know what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah. Anyways, so did you or did you not say that Leibniz's law posits a metaphysical account?
Yeah, I said under like an unrestricted view, it does posit a metaphysical
Okay, you
account.
dumb.
Now, whether
So
it
that's
does or not,
what I'm talking about. You dumbass.
that's just steering away
And
from the
shut the hell up.
conversation.
You shut the hell up, man. Shut the hell up. No,
You
it
shut
isn't.
the hell up,
No,
man.
it
Shut the
isn't.
hell
No,
up,
it isn't.
man. Sorry, I'm
Because
sorry, bro.
Leibniz,
Sorry.
because Leibniz, yeah, because what I've read so far, Leibniz's law, right, understood contemporary by logicians, right, doesn't
Yeah.
posit an unrestricted account. Because when you're talking about Leibniz's law, in reference to an unrestricted account, that's going to be satisfied by an equivalence sign, which is understood in first order logic. So I'm
Yeah.
asking you, give me the metaphysical account
Okay.
of
What are you
what
even taking?
Leibniz law
What are you
posits.
taking a metaphysical account to mean here?
Something ontological, something which isn't dependent upon the intellect, or isn't like logical in this case. That's what an account. If I'm
So
asking you for.
you're just saying that metaphysical is the negation of logical. So again,
No,
you're
I
saying
never
that
say
metaphysical is
when I say
something
metaphysical is a
ontological.
negation. I said no. I never say like metaphysical is a negation. No, no. I'm
You
saying
literally just said it's not. It's going to be something with logical is not right.
yeah, yeah.
Not what
But
a logical. So it is.
I
So
thought
you
you
just
shouldn't
said that
say.
it is the
I
negation
thought
of
you
metaphysical.
shouldn't. Yeah, I
Which
thought you
one is
shouldn't
it?
say like. Yeah, I thought you shouldn't say it was a contradiction or whatever. But anyways,
No, I
I'm
just asked you a
saying
question. I'm saying
yes, and I'm telling you what I'm trying to say, but you keep interrupting me.
okay. So you said that it's something which is ontological.
Yeah,
Well, what is that? A metaphysical is something
is mine.
ontological.
Yeah, it's mind independent. So when it
A
comes to
mind-dependent identity relation?
what you
Like,
asked me,
what is mind-independent? I'm not sure
look,
what
a
you mean by
metaphysical account is going to be a set of propositions, right, which import something in reality or some metaphysical system by which the individual is going by for us to understand what's being considered or analyzed.
Repeat that, sorry.
Yeah, so a metaphysical account, this could be a set of propositions, right, which is within a particular metaphysical system, which imports some like object in reality which we can assess or understand it for it to be within a specific order.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm asking you, give me the account within this metaphysical system, which Leibniz laws tends to import, which you're trying to say.
Okay. Again,
Uh-huh.
if all you're saying is that you only, because according to your view, as an impure relative identity theorist,
Oh my
you
God.
only posit logical relations, correct?
The relative identity are logical relations, yeah, or identity, yes.
Yes. So say you only posit a logical relation, you wouldn't posit any metaphysical accounts, correct?
Of course not, because the identity
But
relations such as
you think
I
identity,
are going to
why
be
do you think
logical.
relation?
It's gonna
Do
be
you think
logical,
that
no, by
do
the
you
same
think
thing.
that no identity relations can be ontological?
No, that's not the claim. Identity,
I know
there can
that
be.
that's not the claim. That's why I'm asking you. That's why I
I'm
asked you.
saying the identity. I'm saying the identity
But you
relations
said
to be
one
included.
moment, one moment, one moment.
Oh,
I'm not done my line
oh
of
my
reasoning.
goodness.
I'm
Oh
not
my
done.
goodness.
I'm not done.
Okay, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
You already said that a metaphysical account is something which is ontological, correct? And I asked you, do no identity relations posit anything ontological? This was a question, not something I'm claiming that you said. So can you please answer the question?
I can't lie, bro. Repeat the last statement because like you kind of cut out for me.
Okay. You ended up saying that a metaphysical account of identity is something which is ontological. So I asked you, are there any identity relations which can be logical? Or sorry, not logical, but ontological. And then for some reason you didn't answer the question, but you just said when did that ever claimed? Again, it was a question. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
That's
and
why I'm
I'm
asking
saying
you.
yes, there can be some identity relation, right, in which you give a metaphysical account for. That isn't what's being
And
negated. Even
those would be
scholastics.
under
Wait,
what theory of
hold up,
identity?
hold up.
Those would be under what theory of identity can you posit them in? Because
What?
by the way, prior, I
You're
want
asking
people to
me,
know
you're
that
asking me,
prior,
you're asking
I
me.
want people to
Hold
know
up,
that prior, you said that
let me land.
identity relations can only be
Asking me,
logical, not metaphysical.
I said relative identity relations. I said relative identity relations are logical, not ontological. Right? That's what I
Yeah,
was saying.
and I agree with you on that.
And
And
hold
I'm
up,
saying
let
that
me
there are
land,
other theories like Leibniz which
let
can
me
posit
oh my
metaphysical
goodness,
accounts of identity.
let me land. And as it
But you
comes
what?
to Leibniz's law as well, Leibniz's law is going to deal with identity relations which are logical, not ontological. And
Okay,
that's
again,
what we
can
say
you give
that
me an example since that you agree that
well,
there
then
are
you give
relative
me an
identity?
example. Why are you trying to shift the burden of proof from me?
No,
You're saying
because I'm not
Leibniz law
shifting the burden of proof
posits
on you. I
metaphysical
already
account.
asked you this question previously and you have yet to answer. I asked you, can you give me an example then, since that you think that there are, because by the way, you negated this previously. I don't know, maybe you misspoke, but I did hear you say that identity relations are never ontological or never metaphysical. Sorry. But in this case, ontological identity relations are going to be metaphysical, and you think that they can hold. So, what would be an example of an ontological of an identity statement which is ontological that can hold?
Yeah, you're not listening. I never said that. Look, I
Okay,
said
again,
within the
answer
context.
the
I'm
question.
telling you. I said within the context of the discussion, we're speaking about relative identity or numerical identity, which is
Okay, sure, that's fine.
logic.
I don't care.
Wait,
I
hold
really
up.
don't care.
Wait,
Can you
yeah.
just answer the question I
You say you
posited?
don't care, but you're asking me a question relating to that. That makes so much sense.
Answer. No, because you're not giving me the example. You're not answering the
So
question.
no,
So
so
no.
you don't want to answer
What
to your
is the
question
example? Can you provide the example, please?
of an identity relation being real and ontological is going to be the way in which scholastics define it. And when you
No,
read
I'm
like
saying give
Richard
me an
Clarke,
example. I don't care about how scholastics define it.
okay, so
Just
an
give me an
example is going to
example of
be a
one.
man.
Go ahead.
Yeah, a man. Yeah, you can say a man is a man, and the is here is going to signify an identity of an entity. So you're going to say the man is the man in reality, right? And that's going to be relative to the metaphysical system which the individual imports.
Would
If you
Jad being
read,
identical to
read,
Beetlejuice?
shut the
Right.
hell up, man. Shut the hell up.
Okay.
You're asking me,
Oh,
and
okay, you want
I'm
me to shut the
providing.
hell up now? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm talking, right? You're asking, and I'm providing, right? So sit there. So, like I was saying, when you read Richard Clarke on his logic manual, which is a scholastic, by the way, he gives his notion of identity, in which he says that it's characterized by also Aristotle and Aquinas. He says that the principle of identity signifies the relation that a thing has to its essence. So if I say a man is a man, in this case, and I'm using this notion of identity, then I'm saying in reality, the man is what it is in its essence. That's what's going to be signified here.
Okay.
So now I'm
So, for
asking you, right?
example,
So wait, hold on. And now I'm going to ask you, right? Give me a metaphysical account
okay.
of
No, we're
identity, which is
still on this.
posited by
We're
Leibniz
still
as
on this
well.
point.
Oh
We're
my god,
still
this
on this
is deep.
point. So, for example, Jad
Oh.
being also known as Beetlejuice or Phrygian, whatever. Jad being identical to Phrygian. What sort of account of identity is this?
What's
Jad equals Look, my username here is Phrygian, but my name is Jad, right? So, Jad being identical to Phrygian. What sort of account of identity is that?
depends on what the individual's invoking. What the heck?
Under an extensional context. I'm invoking what? What context? An extensional, intentional, what?
I said depends on what's being indicated by the individual. Because even when you read Wittgenstein, you don't know. Wittgenstein doesn't actually believe in absolute or relative identity statements. He just states
Okay,
that single
that's fine.
terms refer to the same entity. So if Jad and Frege, right, is that your name? If Jad and Frege refers to the same individual, then that's just going to be an identity statement, which is neither absolute or relative according to natural language. Then again, please, because you keep
You're saying
deviating
it's neither absolute nor relative?
when it comes to natural language. That's what Wittgenstein states. He says that he negates the absolute, he negates that identity statements are absolute or relative, right? And he states that we can infer an identity statements in reference to a singular term which is fixed to that reference. So if Frege refers to you and Jad refers to you, then that's just going to be an identity statement according to Wittgenstein in natural language. So
Yeah,
again,
in that
please,
language, sure.
shut
Because
the hell
they're
up, bro.
synonymous.
No,
Because there's synonymity, correct?
Shush. Oh, Lord have mercy, bro.
Well,
Can you
asking up a question. I'm asking you a question on your reason.
this is deviating from what you asserted in the beginning.
Because what did I assert in the beginning?
In the Leibniz law, posit a metaphysical account.
What does this have to do with me saying that?
Because you said that.
Wait, I said that this identity statement is metaphysical?
You said Leibniz law, right? An
No,
unrestricted
you
version
retard.
posit a metaphysical.
You
Yeah,
retard.
okay,
No,
now
that's
this
not what
guy's
I'm
going.
speaking
Now
about.
this guy's going. Now this guy's going.
I'm
So
speaking
you
about
never
the
said that. You
example.
never said that. I'm not
Let
talking
me
about
speak.
example.
Oh my lord. I'm
That's
speaking
not.
about the example that we're speaking
I'm not
about
talking
right
about the
now.
example you retard. Did I say like the example? Did I say what you said?
No, we're speaking on the example.
I'm not
Again,
talking about this example. I'm talking about what you said earlier. You don't know.
yeah, well,
Listen.
I'm speaking about the
Try.
example because that's what we're focusing on right now.
I'm not.
I'm trying
The
to get your
example is
understanding
irrelevant to
of.
what you're saying earlier and to
Oh
what
my
I'm saying
god!
earlier because I'm not
Do you
taking
even
it.
know?
Wait, hold on, hold on. Shush.
I'm trying. No,
Listen,
you
I
shut your
prepared it.
mouth.
No. You
I'm
shush, bro.
trying
You
to
don't know
get
what you're
your
talking about.
understanding of what you mean by a metaphysical account. The
Oh my!
metaphysical.
I
That's
gave
all
you
I'm
the
asking.
okay. So you're not.
So
So you're
again,
not checking.
whether
So you're not
Leibniz law
checking.
truly does
So you're not
provide a
checking.
metaphysical account is
So you're not
irrelevant
checking.
because I'm
You're
trying
not
to get what
checking.
you even mean
It
by a
is completely
metaphysical
relevant
account.
because that's what
That
you're
is what
asserting.
my line of reasoning is.
That's wait, hold
So
on. The reason why
again,
wait, hold on. The reason why that's relevant one is two, but I believe that some absolute identity statements satisfies Leibniz's law, and I don't believe that Leibniz's law posits
yes,
a
I understand
metaphysical
you don't
account.
believe that.
Then shut
I
that. Okay,
understand you don't
then
believe that. But
give
my view, no,
give me
you
that.
shut your mouth. My
You shut
view,
your mouth.
no, when the teacher is talking, the student shuts his fat little lips, right?
Okay. I don't
I'm
have a
saying,
dumb teacher. I'll be wrong. My
yeah,
teacher's not
well,
this dumb. I'll
I'm
be
saying,
wrong.
yeah,
So
no,
you
no, no.
can't be my
I
teacher.
think that in many cases in this discussion, the student was unable to track, and that was already showed. And even your buddy C
So I'm
here was
unable to
able to track
check.
more than you,
So I'm
and that
unable to
says a lot.
check.
And that says
So
a
I'm
lot.
unable. So I'm
That
unable to
says
check.
a lot. Now,
When
look,
you
look.
said
Now you little
oh
stupid
you
little
never
hood
said
Thomas. I'm not
Leibniz
gonna
is
let
law
a hood
positive
Thomas
metaphysical
interrupt me.
account.
If you want to
And
go
that's going
interrupt,
to
you
be
can
I'm
go
not
back to being
Thomas.
a roadman,
Yeah, I'm
stabbing
not
people
Thomas.
across South
I'm
London.
not
But
Thomas.
anyways, as
I'm
I
not
was saying,
Thomas. I'm
look,
not
as
Thomas
I was
Credit.
saying, my whole point in this is just simply to exemplify and to cash out what you even mean by a metaphysical identity, and so we can
Oh,
exemplify it. And I'm asking clarification. I don't
Oh.
care currently whether I don't really care currently whether Leibniz law is even going to posit a metaphysical account. Either way, that's not even relevant to
I
our
do,
entire discussion.
I really do, I really
I
do.
know, but I'm saying I don't give a fuck because it's not
Okay,
relevant.
but okay,
I'm
it is
not
relevant
relevant.
because you
It's
made the
not
claim.
relevant
You
towards what
made the
we're saying
claim.
currently.
We're talking about no, you made the claim, right? You made the claim, and you
Yeah,
said,
but
"But
I'm saying that I'm
Leibniz,
not connecting
shut the hell
to.
up, man, shut the hell up." You said
I'm not
Leibniz law
connecting
positive
to
and
an
metaphysical
example.
account
No,
and
because you're
relative
saying
identity doesn't, and you're
tell
trying
you
to like
how
insinuate. You're trying to
you can act like
insinuate.
a
You're
good
trying
boy,
to
and I can
trust.
drill it into your little head, into your
Oh
fat,
my lord!
into your fat skull with the fucking brain the size of a fucking peanut, right? I'm telling you,
Don't
Yo, can we
disrespect
chill
the
out,
anyone,
bro?
example I'm
my dear.
providing
Bro.
currently,
No, it's fine.
not relevant, is not being
You don't have
connected
to start, my bro. You
towards
don't have to
whether
start, my bro.
Leibniz law provides a metaphysical account or not.
You don't.
I'm
It's
just
fine, bro.
trying
You don't have to
I'm
get
just
mad,
trying to
bro.
hash out
I didn't know you was this
what you
angry. I didn't
mean
know
by a
that.
metaphysical account. So can we please
Which
continue?
I already cashed out, so you wasn't listening. So you want me to cash out
Yeah, you
again?
provided something very vague because look.
Okay, so you wasn't tracking.
No, me saying that it's vague doesn't mean I'm not
So
tracking.
okay? What was vague? What was vague?
Okay, we already went over that. When you
No,
said
no.
that
You
a
said what
metaphysical
was vague.
account is
If you
something
said
which is
Lulu,
ontological,
Lulu,
you
you're
said that a
saying Lulu.
metaphysical account is something which is ontological, right? And I asked you, what is something ontological? You gave me what it means. So I said, can there be identity statements which are ontological? One
That
moment.
isn't why I cashed out. That isn't why I cashed out, bro. So you
No, you
wasn't
did say
tracking it.
that metaphysical accounts
So
are
you
something which
wasn't
are
tracking.
ontological. That is
That isn't
exactly
what
what I cashed
I
out.
cashed it out because you said it in the beginning and then I cashed it out. So if you was listening, then you would understand that I cashed it out. I said
No,
that
you
a
cashed
metaphysical
out. You
account.
said that
I said, hold
metaphysical
up, shut up,
identities
shut
are
up, I
something
stop,
which
I
are
stop, I stop.
ontological. And
Hey,
no,
shush, bro. Shush, shush,
you
shush,
said
shush,
there's
shush,
something
shush,
which are ontological.
shush,
That's
shush, shush.
exactly what you said.
A
Even he heard it.
metaphysical, shush, shush, shush. I said a metaphysical account is going to be a set of propositions, right? Right. A set of metaphysical postulates in which we can say that's within a given system by which we understand the thing to be, right? Within said system.
Yeah,
That's why I said
again, I'm
that
exemplifying. I'm trying to just provide clarification via an example
clarification to
on
what?
what you mean by a metaphysical account and what you take a metaphysical account to be, and what you
Oh
would
man,
posit,
I just told you, I gave you a
them to be.
metaphysical
The
I
first
told you what
example you gave
metaphysical
me,
account
one
means.
moment. The first
It's relative
example
identity, your nose.
the first example you gave me would be by virtue of a man being identical to himself, or some sort of a relation between a man and himself. But I also gave you one where we have two different noms, so there's only a nominal distinction, but yet they're the same being. Because you provided me one of just there's no nominal distinction or anything. There's not even a conceptual one. So it's
You
just
would I just
purely
gave you what did I say concerning Wittgenstein again? Was you listening?
what? Can you repeat that?
What okay, what did I say regarding Wittgenstein when it comes to like
You
identity
said that
statements
he
when it comes to
doesn't
natural
make
language?
in that it would be neither in terms of the example I gave, you said that he would say that something like that is neither absolute nor relative because it's just speaking in natural language. Right?
And he gives something positive, and I gave you something positive, which he says. What was the positive thing which I gave to you?
What was the positive thing you gave?
Yeah, he said it's not this, but he says it's this. So what
It's
is
something.
this that I showed
It's
you?
an identity statement in natural language.
No, no, that's not what I said, you dumbass. So you wasn't tracking.
That's literally what you said. You dumb fuck.
I
You said it's
stated okay,
neither relative nor absolute because we're
that's a
speaking of an
negation.
identity statement in natural language. You
And
fat
how
full
does he understand?
peanut
How does he
brain
understand?
retard. That's
And what
exactly
did I,
what you said.
and what did I, and then what did I say to you? How does he understand identity statements in natural language? What did I say?
Huh?
And
Yeah, you said
and
it's.
I
He
said,
said that he
what
would
is
posit
it? Is
something
it?
with a natural. If it's an identity statement in natural language, he would
Uh-huh.
posit something. He would say that it's neither relative nor absolute because it's said in natural language. That's
Yeah,
exactly what
that's a
he said. You
negation. He gives
fat
something
retard.
positive. Look, Wittgenstein says if it's not this, but it is that, that encompasses a negation and an affirmation. So Wittgenstein says, oh yeah, identity statements are neither absolute or relative, but he gives an account of identity statements when it comes to natural language. What account did I give to you, which
You didn't even
Wittgenstein provides?
provide an account.
Yes,
You
I
just
did.
said
So
that he doesn't
you
take it
wasn't
to be.
tracking.
You never
You're
provided an account. You just said that. You can ask anyone here what the account
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
Your exact.
Cogito. What did I say? What did I say, Cogito? Because I know you was listening. Because I saw you in the comments. Because I know you love your Wittgenstein, say, Sonny. You there? Yo,
Cogito
Sonny.
G1 is addressing you, bro.
I don't think he's here.
It's not really. Oh, you'll see. Oh, bro, Sani there. Sani, I know Sani heard what I said about Wittgenstein. If he's not there,
I heard.
oh, okay, cool. What did I say? I said
See?
for yeah. What did I say? What did I say? See, bro.
You said something like Wittgenstein like denies the absolute relative identity stuff, and he just says
What I
that
said?
there's something that's inferred from the natural language.
See. By the way, that's exactly what I said. And then,
I said.
and
I said. No, the point is.
no,
What you said.
wait. I just want to.
Let me land. Oh yeah,
We're
he's
not
there.
agreeing.
Yo,
Wait.
Sunny.
Kokito,
With
can you
Sunny.
no.
Sunny.
I want
Sunny's there.
Kokito
Hold on,
to
man. Sunny's
answer.
there.
I want Kokito. Kokito.
Sunny's the point. Sunny, right? What did I say? What account did I give regarding Wittgenstein in the way in which you understand identity statements within natural
Yeah,
language? What did I say, Cogito?
what did G1 say on that? Did G1 provide an account? And if so, what was the account?
Bro, the suspense is killing
Okay,
me.
yeah. No, Kokito, what was the account? What exactly did he say when he quoted? What was his exact quote on Wittgenstein?
Bro, all this tension is making me shake. Like I don't know what to do right now. Can't
Bro,
lie.
see, shut the fuck up. Like, stop
Wait,
commentating,
chills, bro,
nigga.
chills.
Alright,
Chills, bro, chills.
Serious.
That's called Parkinson's, brother. You got to get that checked out.
Why is everyone so mean? I've done nothing wrong in this whole conversation, bro. I've just tried to, chip in.
No, see, you're being a good boy in this conversation.
Oh,
Yeah. I can't let bro see deny of that, bro. I would not let this guy who's getting folded to be calling me
Yeah,
good boy.
folded, bro. You're getting no. If I'm getting
You're
folded, I
getting
don't know what
lipped. You're getting lipped.
Yeah, not
You're
folded.
getting lipped, bro. You're getting lipped.
I'm getting not folded. Yeah,
You're getting lipped because you have big fat fucking lips. Nobody understands a single word.
Hey. Don't even think about it, buddy. Stick to
Oh,
the
you
subject.
you're getting upset. Oh, I
I'm
didn't
like,
Your
know
lips
about how
have
your feelings.
causal power.
I didn't know about
Your
how your
lips have
feelings, bro.
fucking causal power. Your lips are
You quoted
fucking huge.
Jack CS5. No, Cogito.
And give the quote. Give the
Yeah,
quote.
no.
Give the quote.
Cogito, I
Give
want
the
you to.
quote.
No, Cogito.
No, give
I
the
want
quote.
you
No,
to say,
shut the hell up. Give the
no,
quote.
he's not even. Let him finish. He didn't even say anything. Cogito, somewhere there. No, Cogito, I don't care about what Wittgenstein himself said. I care about what G1 told me in the discussion.
Yeah, and I told
I'm
you
not
what
negating
Wittgenstein
what
said.
Wittgenstein has it.
You
Has
care
it.
about what he said
I'm saying
indirectly.
what G1 is telling me because
Yeah,
I
about what
reiterated
Wittgenstein
G1.
said.
He said, "Well, Wittgenstein said no. So can you just type that out real quick? What he said?
You know what I'm
Just
saying?
summarize it.
You know what I'm
Not
saying?
like
I
I
said
don't
what
want. I don't want a
Wittgenstein
book
said.
quote.
I said what Wittgenstein said. So what's your point? So you do
No.
care about what he
I
said
don't
indirectly.
disagree with that. But you said that I am unable. Oh my God, he quoted 5.5. Tokido, can you just say explicitly what G1 said? Type it out using your thumbs. What G1 said. Dude, this is a
Hey
good
man,
thing.
Jed, it's fine not to chat, bro. It's cool. It's cool, bro.
What?
I said it's fine not to chat, bro. Vienna could probably help you in
Vienna can help you with what?
tracking. You can
Tracking.
share better
Oh,
than
I
you.
think Vienna can help you with tracking. Because me and C, even C, who's an audience here, said the exact same thing I said. We're all tracking the exact same thing. Everyone in this chat is tracking the exact same thing on what you're saying.
No, I didn't say that. I
Instead,
didn't say that,
there's a
Cho.
multiplicity. There's a multiplicity of times where you failed in your own tracking abilities. And again, the audience even caught up on that, and the audience was able
So
to
I'm not
track
tracking.
what I was
So I'm
saying.
not
But
tracking.
you
So
weren't
I'm
able
not
to do that.
tracking. So I'm not tracking. Okay, so I gave you
No, I said prior you
something
weren't.
which I
You weren't
didn't
able to.
track by. How does that make sense? So I gave you something, and you're saying I'm failing to track what I gave you. How does that make sense? When I gave you look, Wittgenstein
Wait.
gave the negation.
Cogito said
Well,
Wittgenstein says like to say that two things are identical is nonsense.
yeah, he says that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the point.
No, the whole
So
point.
he negates,
Cogito.
and he
And he
negates
says that
absolute. He negates absolute.
exactly.
Exactly.
He says identity
And
is
I
not a
said,
relation when
and I
speaking in
said, and
natural
I said
language,
to you,
so it's neither absolute or relation or
yeah.
relative. Is this what
And
he
what's
said?
the pos? And what's the pos? No one said I didn't say the
This is
negation. I
exactly what
gave you the
Cogito iterated, right?
Aki. No one didn't say I didn't give the negation. I gave
Oh my
the
gosh.
affirmation of what Wittgenstein said. He
No.
says, he
You
said,
kept
Chuck, I'll
asking
give
me.
it to you again. I'll give it to you again, right?
Go ahead.
Wittgenstein states, right, that identity is neither
Look,
absolute but
actually,
relative. But the
Exactly, the identity statement.
oh
Because
my
we're
goodness,
speaking in
bro.
natural language. Yeah.
Can you shut the hell up, bro?
Yeah, go
Like,
ahead, speak. Okay, shut the hell up, mate. Okay, shut the hell up, mate. Go ahead.
yeah, I can't lie, bro. You know, if you just keep interrupting me, I just might as well just
Who's on
move.
power?
I might as well just move to Joester to speak to him instead. 'Cause I don't know. People say we're Joester's smarter than you, innit? So I might as well just speak to him instead after this. And if you keep
I was
interrupting,
told that Joestar taught Jad, bro. That's what I was told from the
that's
grapevine.
what I got told as well, innit? So I might have to go to the teacher of Joester. I mean, the
Let's go to
teacher
the
of
teacher of Joester.
Jed.
But anyways, look,
The teacher of
as I
Jed.
was saying, G1,
But I'm
your
not done
account that you
speaking, bro.
provided me.
I'm not
Anyways,
done
to get back to the
speaking.
point, your account that you
I'm not.
provided
I'm
me,
not done. I'm not.
the account, because you said that I'm not tracking, even
I'm
Coquito agrees.
really.
The account that
I'm
you
really
provided
not
me
done. I'm
was to
really not
say
done.
that an identity statement in
I'm really not
natural
done.
language
I'm really not
and to
done.
provide
I'm
an
really
account
not
and
done.
say it's a relation, obviously, is absurd.
I'm really not done. I'm really
As
not done. Right.
Coquito
So
literally reiterated.
the
But because
affirmation.
of that,
Oh my goodness. But,
the identity statement is neither relative nor absolute.
okay.
Is that
Shut the hell up. Shut
Coquito?
the hell up.
Is that accurate on what G1 said?
No one said I didn't say that. The point
Yeah,
is,
no, I don't think you said that at all. No, you did
did
say
I
that.
give an
You did, I mean,
affirmation?
you did
Yes or
say
no?
that.
That's the contention. Did I give an
But
affirmation? Yes or no?
you're claiming that.
Did I
Hold on,
give an affirmation? Yes or no? I'm
I'm
asking
gonna
you.
let Coquito. I'm gonna go
Did I
Coquito. I'm
give an
gonna give
affirmation related to vid?
Coquito.
I'm asking.
What? Oh my God! Shut up for 1 second. Coquito, what G1 said. What G1 said was that because I gave him the example of Jad being identical to Phrygian, and there's only a nominal distinction between the two, and he said that G1 exactly said that this isn't true, and he quoted Wittgenstein. He said that it would not be neither absolute or relative, and he quotes Wittgenstein in this because Wittgenstein said that it's something which is in natural language, and they're already the same being. So it's an identity statement which is in natural language, which is neither absolute nor relative, and that is it. That is all he provided. Yes or no,
That isn't
Coquito?
what I said. That isn't just what I said. I gave you look. Me just saying natural language isn't given an account of what Wittgenstein understood
I know, but I'm just
identity
saying by what
is.
you told me.
Okay, so if you know that, then shut the hell up, and then you're going to know because I'm going to
Oh
tell
my
you
God,
again.
because
You
you
didn't
never
listen.
provided any other account and you're
I
pressing me on the account of what Wittgenstein said.
I
You're
really
asking
did.
for you.
I
You
really,
stupid
really did.
fat retard.
I
You're
really,
asking
really did,
you
and I'm going to
stupid
give it
fat
to you.
retard who sits
I'm
debating on
really.
TikTok to impress fat black women all day. I never
It's.
said
Why
that you
you?
do.
Are you upset?
You
Are you
said that,
upset?
but you're
No, what,
pressing me
Jen? Are you
on
upset?
what
Oh, so you're
Wittgenstein
upset.
said, but you never quoted Wittgenstein other than what I said.
Wait, so Jerry, you're getting upset. I never knew you. Like, I got you
I'm not
this
getting
angry.
upset.
You're getting emotional, bro. You're crying.
I'm not getting emotional. I'm just getting my point
You
across.
are. You're crying, bro. Like, what's
You
wrong with
are. Right? Say, do it again. Do it again. You sound like a fucking parrot. You are. Dumbass. What the fuck was that, bro?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
No,
you
no,
are.
bro. Hey, don't worry, bro. I'll speak to your teacher just in a
Speak
second.
to your teacher. That had a nerve that I mocked your fat fucking retarded voice, bro.
Well, my voice is calm, my bro. I cannot lie. But anyways,
Wait, can you do
like I
that
was
again?
saying,
You bark for me. That's you barking for me, right? Can you do it again?
yeah. So
Yeah,
anyways,
you bark for me. Go ahead. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again.
like I was saying, so the affirmation which Wittgenstein gives in the
Go
way in
ahead.
which he understands the identity statements within natural language is going to be in reference to singular terms, right? Because singular terms will pick out a referent in which is fixed. So if the singular term, like Frege and Jad, refer to the same entity and no other entity, then that's just going to be an identity statement, which is understood by Wittgenstein within its corpus. So you don't have to be committed to like an absolute or relative identity statement. So that's the account which I gave you. And
That's
another
fine. And
account
you
which I
said
gave
that,
to
yeah.
you, shut the hell
That's
up, shut the
exactly
hell
what
up,
I said.
shut the hell
That's
up, shut the
exactly what
hell
I
up.
reiterated. I
No,
reiterated from you.
you never said, hold on, you never said
Bro, boy, you
that,
still, bro.
you never said singular terms, right, is going to be the way in which Wittgenstein understands identity within natural language, you dumbass.
Because
You
you
just
never
said,
provided, you actually are reiterating what you said. You never
I did
provided
say that.
that
Whoever's
account.
recording,
The account that you
whoever's
provided,
recording will
however,
understand I said
the
that.
account that you provided,
If
was
this
the
is recorded,
negation.
if this
What?
is being recorded, then you will know if I said that because maybe you're not tracking, right?
You never said that as
You
an
just
account. The account that you gave
Sani
was that
just said
he
I said that.
negates.
Sani said I said that. Like shut the hell up.
What? Coquito
Sani
said that you
said I
spoke of
said that.
singular terms.
Yes.
Yes,
Dumbass.
I agree. Look,
Oh, so
I
you
didn't
agree? I
speak
said
in
that.
singular terms. I reiterated the
So
account that
you
you
agree?
provided.
So you agree?
I
So you agree if I
reiterated
give
the
a
account.
positive again?
No, I said I never heard you say that. The account that you
So
provided,
what do you
which
agree
is what I
upon then?
said, the account which shut up for 1 second. The
What do you
account
agree
which I
upon then?
said,
I'm confused.
you're not letting me speak. The account which I said was that he rejects um is that he rejects that for example, the example I gave would be neither absolute or relative.
That's not an
Would be
account, you dumbass.
I'm saying that this is what you gave. I'm quoting
Yeah,
you.
yeah, and I never said that was an account he gave. You don't know. I just
You're
said
just
like
giving the
he's
negation of what
rejecting
he
the.
said, you retard.
Yeah, that's well, no, and I'm giving you the
You're providing
account,
a negation of what he
which
said.
I gave you the negation of what he said, and I gave you the affirmation of what he said twice, now and earlier, in which you
Yeah,
didn't
now you
understand.
said the affirmation, which is
Now
just
and
speaking in
earlier,
singular terms.
now and earlier, now and earlier. You don't know what you're talking about, bro. Right? So, and I gave you another account relative to like an Aristotelian Thomistic framework, right? I gave you Richard Clark in the way in which he understands identity to be in reference or a relation to one's essence or being,
Yes, and that would
right?
be man being identical to man, mean man and being himself. That's the
Yes, and if you
example you
say
gave me.
yes,
And you
so
took
why
that
are
to
we?
be
So why are
ontological,
we?
correct?
So why are we? That's going to be an ontological, yeah, idea of identity. Yeah, that's going to be
Yeah.
an ontological. Yeah. So what's your point? What's this got
Okay.
to do with the argument?
Oh my God. Do you even know in which point of the argument we're at right now? We're like 20,000 steps ahead now. Like, we don't even know where we're at because
How
we
we're
went
not
from
we're not talking about the
understanding what
argument.
you mean by an ontological account, and then we speak on what you said
This guy,
regarding Wittgenstein. It's
this
just
guy is
everywhere.
dumb. This guy is dumb, right? Because you've been
I'm
asking
dumb.
me questions.
I'm
You've been
dumb.
asking me. Yeah, you are. You're
Oh
very
my
dumb.
God.
Yeah, because you've been
No, I've
asking me
only ever
questions
asked you like
irrelevant.
2 questions.
Hold
You've
up.
actually asked
You've
me
been
a
asking
bundle
me.
too
You've been
regarding
asking
what
me.
real identity
You've been
is, what I
asking
mean by
me.
real
You've been
thing is,
asking me.
what kind of identity is being
You've been
posited.
asking.
So asking
Anyways,
questions isn't an
yeah.
issue here.
Anyways.
Okay, go
You've
ahead.
been asking me. Look, you've been asking me for help for you to understand the things which you're invoking. I don't mind, bro. I don't
I'm
mind
not
helping you.
invoking.
What do you mean?
I never
You
invoked.
said.
The only thing
What
I
do you mean?
invoked
I've been
here,
helping you, bro.
the
I've
only
been
thing I
helping you.
asked,
I've been
the only
teaching you.
thing
What are
I
you talking
asked,
about? I've been
the only
teaching you.
thing I invoked, you retard who cannot track. Maybe you need VMS for
Leibniz law, a positive metaphysical account, which you
no,
still haven't actually addressed. Funny
no.
enough.
What I
Funny enough.
mentioned, what I
Funny
mentioned,
enough.
by the way,
Funny
was
enough.
that I asked you what you take a metaphysical account to be, and you said that you take them to be ontological. So I asked you to
Like,
simply exemplify one because you said that there can be some which are relations which are
it's
ontological.
going to be relative to the metaphysical system, dumbass. Like, what the heck? Like,
Yeah, no
metaphysical
fucking
accounts are not
shit,
going to
you
be.
retard. If it's metaphysical, if
Of
there's a
course. So
metaphysical
what do
account,
you mean?
nobody's
I
negating
gave you an
that.
example, and I gave you.
Nobody's
Look,
negating
use your
that.
brain. Use your brain. Use
Literally,
your brain.
nobody is
And I
negating
gave
that.
you an example, and I gave you an
So I'm
example
saying that
relative to
Leibniz
what?
law itself isn't going to be a system which is going to negate that at all. They're not going to negate anything like
Does
that
you said Leibniz law
because
posit the
they do
metaphysical
posit
account?
strong equivalence relations in it,
Give
and they work
strong
under
equivalence relations pertain
extensional
to
context.
strong equivalence relations pertain to identity relations which are logical.
I met
It's going to be
stronger.
within a logical. It's going to be within a logical
First
order.
off, I
When
met
you talk about a strong
stronger.
equivalence relation,
One second, you
strong.
retard. I
This
met
guy's dumb. It's
stronger
going to be in a
equivalence
logical
relations,
relation.
which is ones that I met a stronger equivalence relation, which is stronger than the one that you posit because you posit
What's
a
the
weak
strong?
equivalence relation.
What's the strong equivalence relation?
Oh my gosh!
I'm asking you.
Now
What's the
you're
strong
asking me what
equivalence
a
relation?
stronger equivalence relation is. You just
Because you
defined
don't know
it.
what it is. Because you don't know.
You
I
literally
didn't
just
define it.
defined it.
No, I never. You dumbass.
Did you not just define it when you spoke of
No,
logical
I didn't.
relation?
So you don't.
Okay.
Huh?
All a
That's not.
equivalence
That's not.
relation is
No,
going to provide.
no. Let me define.
Shut your
Don't worry.
fucking fat mouth and
I'm going
stop
to define it
barking.
for you.
All an
You think a
equivalence
strong
relation,
equivalence relation is going to be a logical
all a
relation? You
equivalence
dumbass.
relation
That's
is
not
going to
definition.
provide. All
That's
equivalence
not
relation is
definition.
going to
Sugar ray.
provide. All equivalence relation is going to provide. Are you listening?
Why would I listen
Hello?
to a guy who doesn't know what he's talking about?
Okay. All an equivalence relation is going to provide, right, is that it's reflexive, transitive, and symmetric. Correct?
Okay, and what's a strong
You would
equivalence
not
relation?
agree with that in all cases, is what I took you to mean
Wait,
when you said
that's
that it's
false.
weak
Well, that's
equivalence
false.
relation.
Wait,
When you say it's
that,
weak,
wait, that's false. Wait.
what's wrong?
Are you saying that relative identity theory is pure and impure? Right? Reject the properties of transitivity, reflexivity, and
No, I never
symmetry.
said they reject. What? I never said that.
So what do you mean
I
I'm not
said
committed to
you
that? Why are
posit
you
a
saying I'm not
weaker
committed to
version
that?
of that. When did I ever
Okay,
say that?
beautiful. So I'll posit a weaker version of that. And this equivalence relation, is that within a logical order or an ontological order?
Logical order.
Okay, so if Leibniz's law is satisfying this equivalence relation, then how is it the case where it's positing something metaphysical?
What?
If you're say if Leibniz's law right satisfies a strong equivalence relation,
A
then
strong
how is it
equivalence relation. Sure.
then how is it the case where it's positing something metaphysical if it's
Because
within a logical order?
that you're taking a weaker equivalence relation to just be, for example, because you said that as substitutivities of identical is not going to be present in every case. And in the same manner, you would just simply say that a weaker equivalence relation, that just wouldn't hold in every single case, correct?
That isn't answering that isn't answer my
No, I'm
question.
just going through my line of reasoning. But Leibniz law would obviously posit
That's not
Leibniz
addressing
law
what
and
I'm
absolute
asking though.
identity. Leibniz
That's
law
not
and
answering
absolute
what I'm asking.
identity.
That's not asking what I'm
Leibniz law
asking.
which posits an identity which is absolute.
If logical
Is going to
relations
say,
are within
is going to
so
say,
if logical relations are
is
within
going to say, I'm
a
not done.
logical order,
I'm not done.
and wait,
It's
hold on.
stupid
Let me.
that
I'm gonna give you
I'm
an
not done.
argument. I'm gonna give you an argument. Oh, shut the hell
You're
up,
not
bro.
giving me an argument. I'm not even done speaking. What
I'm gonna
argument
give
is
you a
it?
formal argument. What the heck?
Formal,
So
okay,
if
formal
so
argument.
if pre-
Try to
so
prove my
if
point.
premise
Give me the inference
yeah
rules. Go ahead.
so so if logical relations are
What's your first
within
premise and what's your
oh
first premise?
my
Go
goodness
ahead. Do you want to type it out
oh my
instead? Just type
goodness
it out instead. Don't like verbally say it.
oh my goodness. So premise one is if an
Just
identity
type it.
relation. Oh my goodness, bro. Okay. So you want me to tell, bro? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, bro. Give me a second. Oh. Done. If any identity relation satisfied by an equivalence relation, then it's within a logical order. Order. Leibniz law satisfies and satisfies an equivalence relation. Equivalence relation. Then from okay, cool. So
Just a quick question, Joe. Can you give me pick pumps? It's very important. It's a very important thing.
into okay, so this is the argument here. And also P.
Can I be given pick pumps, please?
So this is the argument. This is the argument, Jad, right? By the way. Okay. Why is my team taking very long? Okay, cool. So okay, cool. So do you see my finger? Hold on, I'll pin this guy. What's this guy's name? Jad Freaking. Okay, cool. So this is the argument here, right? Can you read it? Which premise do you disagree with, Jed?
If any identity relation is satisfied by an equivalence relation, then it's only within a logical order. L satisfies an equivalence relation. So, do you think that ontological accounts of identity
Shut the
don't
hell up
satisfy
and just
relations?
shut the hell up, bro. Just respond to the syllogism.
I would contend premise one.
Okay, so you don't believe equivalence relations are only within a logical order, right?
Yes.
So you
So, for
believe
example,
what other order?
ontological identity relations can still be posited with some sort of equivalence relation, correct?
Repeat that, but okay. So you're saying it's not only within a logical order. So what other orders is
Do you
equivalence
believe that there is
relation?
an equivalence relation for
But
an
it's not about
ontological
what I
identity
believe. I
statement?
don't
Oh
believe
my
equivalence
lord, bro.
relation. Yeah, I'm telling you what I believe. I don't believe what equivalence relations are in any other order, but only a logical one. So I'm asking
So they're
you,
not in
the
metaphysical ones. Why do you think that? Is it
equivalent,
because, for
because
example,
equivalence
do you only
relation,
take
because equivalence
ontological ones to be
relations,
reflective?
equivalence relations, the way in which it's understood by logicians, is always within a logical order. What are you talking about?
Okay. Do you believe? Would you say that
It's not about what
ontological
I
ones are?
believe. It's about what you believe. You don't believe that
Okay.
all
So
equivalence
do you?
relations are. So I'm
Oh my
asking you.
god!
I'm
Come on, let me
asking you.
speak, nigga. Damn. Do you say
Why are
that
you asking me about
ontological
what I believe? I told you what I believe.
ontological identity statements would be
Oh my
only
goodness.
reflexive, correct?
Oh my goodness, bro. It's not about what I believe. It's
Okay.
erroneous.
Do you take ontological identity statements to only be reflexive? Yes or no?
Don't. It's not about what I believe, bro.
Okay. Do you? I'm gonna ask you like another time, the third time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Do you
answer the
take the
question because it's
ontological
erroneous.
identity statements to only be reflexive? Correct or no?
Like, bro, what does that even mean? So you have to ask. What does that even mean?
Oh my god.
What does it mean for it to be reflexive? Because reflexive are logical properties, right, which will pertain to an equivalence relation within a logical order. So what does it mean
So you don't take
for
it to be reflexive. So the identity statement between a man and himself, the man and when we have a metaphysical account of identity, and the example you provided of a man and
you
himself.
haven't given a metaphysical account of identity, so I don't know what you mean.
No, I'm saying the metaphysical account that we
So,
agreed upon. Oh
so
my god.
what do you mean agreed
No, a
upon? You don't. What do
metaphysical
you mean? I
account
don't
of an
believe
identity
this
statement, the
relation. Wait, hold
identity
on.
statement
I don't
itself.
believe.
I
Wait,
asked
hold on,
you
hold on.
once.
Wait, hold
Shut
up.
your mouth. Shut your
The
mouth.
account I
I don't know
gave
why you're
you,
forgetting
the
about
account
this.
I gave you doesn't talk about equivalence relations. What are you talking about?
Bro, you
What are you talking
provided.
about?
You provide.
Yeah, and the account
Are
I
you
gave to you
fucking
doesn't talk
retarded?
about equivalence
I asked
relations.
you.
What do you mean?
I asked you.
You just
What do
get
you
this thing.
take a metaphysical account of identity to be? What
I'm
is that? And you
asking
said
you.
it's something ontological. And when I asked you,
Oh
what
my
is
goodness,
that
bro.
something which is ontological? Can you exemplify it?
This
And
guy,
you
this guy,
gave me the identity statement between a man and himself. Yes
you
or no?
love, you
That in
love, you
itself is
love,
reflexive.
you love shifting the burden of proof to me. I'm asking
I'm
you,
not
right?
shifting the
Since you
burden of
reject,
proof on you.
you are,
There's
because
no
you're
not
asking me
shifting the
what
burden
I
of proof
believe.
on
I
you.
told you what
I'm
I
not
believe, right?
asking you. I'm not
Listen,
asking. I only asked you whether you
buddy,
take it to be reflexive or
buddy,
not. You
buddy,
said no
buddy,
because that's a
buddy,
property of an
buddy,
equivalence relation.
buddy,
However,
buddy.
you already provided that properly.
Buddy.
Yeah, I'll be wrong. It's not about what I believe because I already told you reflexivity is going to be a logical property, right? Which satisfies an
Exactly.
equivalence
But
relation within a
but that
logical order. And
between
the
the man
account,
and
shut the hell up,
himself.
shut the hell up, shut the hell up.
Oh my
And
God.
the account that I gave to you, right, which is given by Richard Clark, doesn't talk about what's it called? These logical properties and equivalence relation. They don't talk about it. So that account isn't provided.
Okay.
So what are you
So
talking about?
look,
So again, wait, hold on, hold on.
look,
You're not gonna
look.
shift. You're not gonna shift. You're not gonna shift. So I'm gonna ask you a question again, right? So you don't believe for
What?
equivalence
Oh my
relations
God.
are just within
We
a
already
logical
defined what an
order.
equivalence
So
relation
what
is. We
orders? I'm
already
asking you to.
defined
I'm
what an
asking you. I'm
equivalence
asking
relation.
you. I'm
One
asking
second.
you.
No, and I'm asking you.
Words of
Let me continue what I
you're
was saying
so dumb,
prior.
bro. You know,
You
you're
already
just shush.
agree. You already agree that an
Lord
equivalence
have
relation.
mercy, bro.
is
time
that
has.
something reflexive went into an equivalence relation.
You know you're
You already
looking
agreed
very
on that.
bad right now. Do you know you're looking very bad right now? You know that.
How am I looking very bad right now? We're literally going
Because
nowhere. What are you
because you're
talking about?
saying you reject premise one, and I'm asking you regarding premise one, you don't believe that equivalence relations are just within a logical order, right?
They could
Okay,
be
so
within a
what
metaphysical.
order? Okay, so within this metaphysical order, what's the account for it? Give me an account. Give me
Oh my gosh.
account
I
of
literally
equivalence relation within
exemplified it
metaphysical.
for you. You agreed that a metaphysical account is something which is ontological. That's what you defined it to be. So something which posits something ontological in reality.
That isn't
And
why I
then
cashed out. That's not why I cashed out, buddy.
what? Hold on.
So again, you don't know why I cashed out. This guy's so dumb. Yo, Joseph, let me speak to you instead, but this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Right, you said you wanted to talk about the Trinity. You do want to talk about it. You said the Trinity is contingent, right? But because of God's will. So, Joseph, let me talk to you because this guy just doesn't know what he's talking about.
Okay, I'm back. What you
Yeah,
posited to be a
go back on mute. Go
One
back on
second.
mute. You don't know what you're talking about, bro. I'm
No,
talking to your
what you
teacher.
posited,
Shush,
I don't know.
shush,
No. Because now you're just being a
shush, shush,
dishonest little
buddy.
monkey right now. You're being a
Shush,
dishonest
buddy.
dog. What you posited
Shush.
prior, when I asked
Give
you,
me a
what do you
second.
take a metaphysical account to be? Or what do you define that as? And you said something ontological. Correct?
You said.
Don't lie on that. Is that correct, G1? Hello?
I think he doesn't want to talk anymore.
G1 does not want to speak to any longer.
Okay. Well, see, you know that who
I,
was able to track the conversation, heard that himself. Anyways,
I
good.
think why don't you guys just like give the
Ain't no one
answer?
trying to talk to you, little bro.
What? Okay.
Anyway, yeah, look, let's have the next discussion rolling. You know, let's keep the momentum. You know.
So you want to
Yeah.
discuss?
You so like I
I'm not
want to
pushing the
debate
guy.
relative identity.
Hello,
I'm
can you
down to
hear me?
discuss the
Yeah,
continuing argument.
he was yapping too much, but he made my internet glitch. Yo, Joyster, let me talk to you, man. Let me talk to you, the teacher of Jad. Are you there, Joyster?